Heyo. Over the rainbow, white. Yeah, come on, everybody. Let's get over that rainbow. I think we're there. I think we're over the rainbow. I mean, come on. Aluma Tommy's already here in the chat. So, we've gone over the rainbow, folks. We left Kansas a long time ago. Tommy, I'm not going to focus on you so early in the show. The show hasn't even started again. Tommy, you may be on some kind of world record epic marathon YouTube streak right now, dude. I'm gonna have to cut your streak off. What did you say? Might as well ride the sleep schedule. And crypto blowing up, going to be a crazy week. Tommy, the crypto king. Isn't it like the ultimate in irony that Tommy may be the most financially well off amongst the lot of us here? Talk about a rub. I don't know, Tommy. I don't know how much everybody's, really buying your crypto story. I mean, I'm not like calling you like a liar. I'm just kind of saying, like, I'm wondering what's really going on with the crypto thing. Just saying. What do you say? Nah, I did good in stocks. Crypto move is religious, political. Gotcha. So you did your stock thing. It's not about the crypto. Okay. That's a bit more understandable. I could buy that. You have any tips for us, Mr. Tommy? Any like insider information you can give us? Just wondering. But Tommy, you've been on like a non-stop YouTube run. Like, what's going on with you? I don't know who's on YouTube more, Aluma Tommy or Mr. Unslaved. He appears to be constantly online, like constantly. Tommy, who do you think's online more, you or Paul? It might be Paul, from what I could see. Which, I don't know, who's more fascinating between the two of you in terms of like your complete compulsion and insanity and dedication, really, towards said insanity. Very strange. Tommy says, I got off last night, woke up. And missed summons. I don't know what you mean, Tommy, but either way, much love. Uncle Bear Juice says Tommy is on more. Probably. I think I'd have to agree with that. Objectively, Tommy is appears to never leave YouTube. Come on, Tommy. A lot of people commented on the Illumitami and Z collaboration on yesterday's show here. I don't know, Tommy. It didn't seem like anything super special to me. I don't know if it was just like all your Tommy viewers that were commenting to me, but not sure. People seem to be interested in the Illumitami thing. Oh, good. Tommy's giving us stock advice now. He said you got to work the historic climbs and be patient. Nice. Very good, Tommy. Yesterday was a busy day on the metaverse. Too much to explain. I could go into it, but I'd even bore myself to death, I think, because it's all nonsense and stupid. Like Tommy, I could talk about how, like a white gorilla basically leaned on to other YouTube creators and told them, don't talk to Zetetic Warrior. Did anybody else see that? I saw it. But you'll be happy to know that, hey guys, Zetetic Warrior didn't really want to talk to you anyway, so contrary to popular belief. Just saying. I still have my music playing in the background. For the rainbow. Yeah. Jonathan says one of them is not streaming you right now. Yeah. Well, I had a little conversation with one of them. And I said, look, maybe it's just a better idea. You don't restream me. It's kind of probably not the best thing. Like, I'm not really inclined for that. You seem like you're disincentivized now to do so. Maybe just don't restream Z all the time. And people say, oh, Z, you restream people. Remember when you restreamed the Melodome? Okay, guys. Right. So me dropping in on the Melodome and kind of lampooning on Flatman X's watch and his shirt and then leaving, you guys feel in some ways comparable to somebody just restreaming my entire show, really not even providing commentary. Yeah, get a life, guys. Just saying. Somebody's telling me I saw Thunder Chicken was at Flattoberfest selling his stuff. Good for Thunder Chicken. I've been getting reports from Flattoberfest, from insiders. Seems like a good time, but yours truly is not upset in any way that I was unable to attend. Good for those guys. They're not nearly as like nihilistic as I am in this point in my life. I'm like, yeah, I don't really need like the camaraderie. I don't really need like the friendship and stuff. I'll let you guys like do that. I've reached a point in my life where like that's just not appealing to me. But I like watching other people like connect with people and celebrate things in like public gatherings. I'm at a weird stage. I might have always been like this, not sure. Where I'm not so interested in like being the one participating in like the group celebratory events. I'm okay with like observing the other people enjoying those events. I'll give you an example. Like, say there's a parade. Like, I live in a town, they have parades. Like, a Halloween parade is a big one. Might have been last night, or I don't know. It's coming up soon. It's this week sometime. And there's a Christmas parade or whatever. I'll let go and just take a stroll to the parade, but I'm not interested in the parade. Like, that's not the enjoyment. The enjoyment is watching all the other people interested in the parade. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. It makes sense to me though. I'd rather experience like the joy through them because it doesn't mean much to me, but it means something that it means something to them. Like Illumitami, like I watch him as he like makes his way to all the different channels, as he becomes like the ultimate panel walker. I don't really want to join all these other shows, but I enjoy watching like Tommy as he enjoys himself on these other shows. I'm doing like a whole third party meta thing at this point. It's weird. Maybe I need to work on that. I might need to, do some things there. Who knows? See people rolling in the chat. I see our good friend Rock E. Shepherd is here this morning. I was watching some of Rocky's live stream. Must have been from the last day or so. Talking about like the NASA thing. This, the moon landing bullshit thing. Rock, about this like NASA fake bullshit stuff that they're doing. Rock, I'm realizing more and more that like as time goes on, less and less people give a fuck about what's true or not. I think we've entered a stage, everybody, where we've all been conditioned and indoctrinated to a sufficient point, a point at which we're really no longer concerned with objective reality versus fantasy. It's an amazing phenomenon that I'm observing amongst humanity, is that people are choosing, actively and willfully choosing, to believe and live in a fantasy reality that is not real. Grown adults, like Bear Jew said, Z, 100%, most people don't care. Uncle Rick, I'm realizing it. They don't care. So, what does that mean for like those like us? What does that mean? Does it mean we just stop? Does that mean we stop caring too? Do we keep caring in spite of the obvious challenges and obstacles? Because part of me just goes, well, why should I care? If nobody cares, why the fuck should I care? It turns out, every day I wake up, every night I go to bed, I still fucking give a shit. Uncle Rick just says we're fucked. He just says we're fucked. Dick Freedom Gross says humanity finds out it's being cyborged halfway into being cyborged. Go finger. Yeah. It's the acceptance of it. It's the oh well. Yeah, but it's even beyond that. It's grown men and women choosing a fantasy. It's like that stage in childhood where you're old enough to realize that the whole Santa Claus thing is bullshit. Like you hit that point where you're like, oh, that's kind of bullshit. But you can still kind of cognitively and mentally, psychologically lean back into the fantasy. You're like, I kind of know it's bullshit, but I'm still so fresh off of believing it that I can just lean back into that feeling and kind of buy it and just kind of go with it. You know, like that point where you might be waking up from a dream and you're in that in between state between wake and sleep, and you can kind of choose the dream again. I've been there only very certain times in my life. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to choose the dream again for a little bit. I'm going to close my eyes. And I know I could just kind of wake up right now if I wanted, but I'm not. I'm just going to let myself just slip back into the dream world. It seems as though they've used whatever this technology is, whatever mechanisms they have, to place humanity into that state, a state where people are willfully choosing the dream. They're choosing the fantasy. I don't know how many times people can be shown astronauts faking the ISS. I was just going through videos this morning. ISS fakery. Astronauts on wires doing weird acrobatic fakery. CGI. Blatant lying. Things, women with their goofy hairspray on the ISS trying to imitate zero Gs, lying to children, obvious fakery. The whole moon landing presentation from the late 60s and early 70s. These things are obvious at this point, but people are choosing the fantasy. Seemingly because it's so overwhelming. They turn their TV on. They're being presented with a ubiquitous narrative. And even with the knowledge, even with the evidence that the narrative is a complete and utter phony bullshit presentation, they still choose the fantasy. It's endlessly fascinating for me at this point. It's no longer about the information. The information is there. They let us present the information. Unundocked Rhinade says, when did the point of no return happen? It's a great question. You know, if we indeed are in some stage of no return for humanity, you know, regardless of when or where we shifted into this present reality, we seem to be here. I talk to young people, men and women in their early 20s. Even when presented with this information, they choose to reject it. The cost of embracing truth is too much for most people. The cost associated with it appears to exceed what the average man or woman is willing to exchange. Very strange. What are you saying? Illumitami, you never give up, dude. You are relentless. When are you going to crash, Tom? We're all waiting for, like, and not in a malicious way, just in a way that, you know, is fascinating. We're like, when are you going to crash, Tom? You're on an epic YouTube bender right now. When's the Tommy crash come? Your friend Snowfire's here, Tommy. She's here this morning. Hi, Snowfire. We know Tommy is Snowfire like the number one Illumitami fan? Appears Tommy has fans. And it appears that we've met his number one fan, the lovely Snowfire. Tommy brings his groupies. Much love, Snowfire. Congratulations, you're a Tommy groupie. You may be the first one, but hey, there's sure to be more to follow. Just be careful, Tommy, with your groupies. They'll fucking turn on you in 2 seconds if you don't show them enough love attention. London, what are you laughing at, London, man? He knows it's funny. Tommy, those groupies will turn on you. Just, you probably know that. Tommy's not like unaware of like how interactions with the ladies go. Tommy apparently was blessed with those Chris Strokes proportions, as he calls them. I'll let you guys figure out what the fuck that means. So Tommy just seems to be like biologically biologically blessed in certain ways that gives him at least some type of advantage with these women. So I think Tommy maybe understands on some level. He doesn't seem completely unaware of how the interactions with these ladies typically goes. No, Tommy, I have not watched Conspiranaughty trailer. I don't even know what that is. What does that mean? Is that some of your work? I already did the Illumitommy thing yesterday. I already played the ASMR Tommy. Rocky Shepard says the Illuminati are trans. Well, that works out well for our friend Tommy. Tommy, I heard you admit last night on a panel that you have experienced what it's like to have a male member in your. Let's just say you've experienced what it's like to have a male member in your mouth. Was that just a throwaway joke, or were you just completely caught in like a Tommy Spurgout bender, and you couldn't resist kind of slipping a little bit of truth out? Snowfire says, play it. What, you want me to play the part where Tommy admits to blowing a guy? Is that is that what you want me to play, Snowfire? Or the whatever the fuck Tommy said, the Conspiranaughty trailer? Tommy, it was weird that you admitted to blowing a guy last night. That was kind of weird, dude. I don't know, like, I mean, fine, it's okay. Nobody cares. Apparently, everybody who's a YouTube content creator on these streets is experimented, at least at some point, with some type of same-sex attraction. People. I was like, oh, Tommy just really slipped that in. He said I was expanding on the Taylor Swift thing. What? Who knows? I'm sure our friend Rocky Shepard thinks Taylor Swift is a dude. I said it before, I'll say it again. If Taylor Swift is his dude, then I don't care. Z doesn't give a fuck. Like, if that's the level of these trans people at this point, I don't know. Just bring it on. Okay, Tommy doesn't want to be typecast as being straight. Don't worry, Tommy. You're in no danger of that. I knew it. I knew Rocky Shepard says Swift is a dude. Come on, Rock. Are you serious with that shit? See, Z can go a lot of places when it comes to this whole game. I can entertain a lot of things. I'm just not on board with like the Taylor Swift is a dude thing. I'm just not. It's too much for me. The fact is, I'm just not buying it. I'm not believing it. Now, I've seen the effects of hormone treatments on adolescents. If you get to a biological male before a certain age, before puberty really sets in, and you give them those hormone blockers and etc., okay, you can really prevent a lot of the typical male, let's say, phenotypic characteristics from expressing. But even with that being said, I'm not buying the Taylor Swift is a dude thing and everybody's a dude. And the chick who plays Wonder Woman is a dude, whatever her name is. Gail Godet or Godot, whatever her fucking name is. I just can't. Cadence thinks Rocky is awesome. Well, did you subscribe to his channel, Cadence? Did you subscribe to the Rocky Shepherd channel if you love him so much? Although, Cadence, I don't know how you're going to find time in your busy YouTube watching schedule for another content creator. How are you going to fit Rocky in? You're everywhere, Cadence. Cadence might have to. Are you at that spot, Cadence, where you're watching everybody at like fast speed? You must not be, because you appear to be in the live chats all the time. But the good news for she's laughing. The good news for you, Cadence, is you don't really appear to be paying attention to anybody's content. You're just kind of there. So it seems as though you're in like multiple chat rooms simultaneously. So maybe you got that going on. Joe R says beta calling all kinds of women dudes. I don't know if it's a beta thing, Joe R, but it's, hey, maybe I'm just not aware of all the evidence. Maybe I haven't investigated. Maybe I have my own level of cognitive dissonance where I choose not to look at that. So I could be displaying some degree of hypocrisy when I call people out on their cog dis in regards to the goofy space presentation. Maybe we found Z's threshold of cog dis, a level that I will not cross. I refuse to look at the evidence potentially of these trans women in Hollywood. Ruled by Saturn says, can't say anything about the ladies, Z, lest you be struck down. Well, apparently ruled by Saturn. I'm not sure, but that appears to be the case. Women seem to be a protected class right now. Which is weird, because you're like more than half of humanity. But yet you're being protected as some kind of like... Exactly. Like you said, a protected class. Like I said, a protected class. You guys are the majority. You seem to be the ones in power now, ladies. Have you taken a look at politics or any of these businesses or corporation? It's the ladies. You guys are. It's like all the guys decided, like, okay, we'll let you do everything. Like, we'll let you pretend like you're running stuff. What does that say about this economy and this world? That we could just play pretend business and everything still runs. That we could still play like pretend government and everything still runs. It's like, oh, we'll let you be Vice President Kamala Harris. No problem. Don't worry about it. You're doing great. And everything just still runs. What does that really mean about these people? This government and this economy? I don't know. It might mean that it's just kind of like being run by some centralized authority. Potentially just some AI algorithm that's just running the whole show. It's like when you're a kid, right? You know, like I was a kid in the 80s and early 90s when kids would actually go outside and play, use their imagination, play games and sports. And like all like the boys, you know, the young men in the, you know, on the block, we'd be playing like football. You know, tackle football. We didn't play like two-hand touch or flag football. We were tackling each other. Got it? Bunch of kids. We didn't give a shit. And then, like, you know, your little sister comes out and her friends. And you're like, can we play too? And you're like, ah. And you've been playing for a couple hours. Maybe one of your buddies had to go home, you know, for whatever. And you're waiting for him to come back. So you're like, okay, we'll let you play for a little bit. So now you're playing football again. But it's certainly not the same game you were playing before. You know, the actual game where you were really playing to win. No, now you're playing with the girls, with your baby sister. You're letting her open. You're letting her catch the ball. You're throwing it softer. You've now made accommodations for the ladies so they can participate. Okay. I want you to just take what I'm saying right now about your little sister playing football with you in the front yard with your friends and just apply that to government, to economy, to the actual real fucking world. That's where we are. It's pretend. I'm like, oh, we'll let you run that company, sweetheart. It's good. Don't worry. There's other stuff we can do. It's fine. Hollywood tells me I'm just supposed to let you do it. Affirmative action just tells you I'm just supposed to let you You could be the boss, sweetheart. You could run the hospital. It's fine. Just because there's like way more competent men that could do the job that got passed over, we're going to give it to you, sweetheart. What does that say about our reality that we can place the, let's say, less than competent people in positions of leadership and power? What does it really say? Not only about the governments, these corporations, but what does it say about this reality that it still functions in spite of it? Now, if you could take a geopolitical stance, you can say, well, it's just weakening our country. It's weakening our culture, our nation. And that other countries that are, let's say more paternalistic, more, patriarchal, well, they'll just overtake us because our incompetence and our, will eventually show. And then we'll just be ripe for the takeover, potentially. But I'm not seeing that. It seems as though this movement towards the empowerment of the woman to the detriment of the man seems to be ubiquitous. But hey, what do I know? I don't know it all. Maybe it's time to get the show started, everybody. It's great to see all you lovely guys and dolls here on this fine morning. It kind of feels better that like nobody's just like restreaming me right now. Like, thanks, person, for not just restreaming me each morning. It was kind of creepy, but I don't know. I'm realizing also, guys, that a lot of personalities that we find here, there's a certainly like a spectrum like quality to many people, and I'm realizing that more and more. I'm like, oh, some people you just have to be very direct with your communication. Innuendo, hyperbole, things like that. Even satire, sarcasm seem to be missed on certain amongst us. I'm realizing that more and more. I'm like, oh, you're not going to get it unless I like directly say the thing to you, which is okay. We're all different. Hey, we're all special little snowflakes, everyone. There's no need to think that everybody needs to be exactly the same. Some homogenized, goofy presentation of humanity. We don't need that. We want people to be different. It's the spice of life. I always put it like this, everyone. It's our unique qualities that are our strength as a community, as a group, as a family, as a village. Your individuality is actually the strength of humanity. What does that mean? It means I see men and women that exist best, that function the best in groups, tight-knit groups with actual energetic bonds. As such, the group is strongest when it is diversified, when people's unique talents and skills can be utilized and highlighted. But what do we see as opposed to that? What do we see in the modern day presentation of society? We see people being pushed and engineered into a homogeneous, lifeless, bland presentation where one's unique qualities seem to be suppressed in the interest of promoting more uniform, socially desirable qualities. They're only desirable to this control structure. They benefit those who are benefiting from your control. People are meant to feel like they're crazy, they're aberrant, and they're somehow less than valuable for their unique individual qualities. They take children as early as they can. They pathologize normal human child behavior. They've developed some uniform standard of normalcy and typical behavior for children. And then through a process of so-called authority, through particular methods, they shape these children into that concept of normalcy. Using pharmaceuticals, using indoctrination, using threat, coercion, using the full authority and power of the so-called government. Oh, you don't believe me? Try being a parent in this day and age and going against the medical system, going against the educational system. See what happens. All right, let's get the show on the road. We've settled in enough, everybody. Strap in. It's always a wild ride here on Z Show. It's not like I intended to be so. It just typically happens. The show takes a life of its own. So all aboard, everybody. Captain Z is at the helm as we prepare to take another journey into the metaverse. All right, let's get my camera going. We'll do the official opening and all that jazz. Yes. What are you laughing at, Cadence? Cadence, life is just a bowl full of cherries for you, isn't it? Like Cadence just comes on here and it's just, she has a good old time. How's it going up there in Michigan, lovely lady? How are you doing up there? If I were inclined to bring you up, I'd get a Cadence update, but we're still going to leave you as a lovely chat contributor. Cadence appears to be flirting with Jeff, with Mr. Pie. Good for you guys. It's always nice to see two young kiddos in love. Isn't love grand, everyone? Let's get started. Why is it so dark? Oh, there we go. It's better. Shed some light on the situation. Hi, friends. going with this. Official opening commencing in 3, 2. Hold on, technical difficulty. Oh, great computer, thanks. Making me miss my mark. You're skipping on me. I should try another opening, not just the Johnny Carson each morning. I'll have to test it out. Let's do the official opening. Yeah, there it is. Do you feel it? I feel it. Come on, everybody. Let's do it. Good morning, everybody. Grand Rising and Grand Approach. Welcome back to Z Show. That's right. There's my letter, which is also my name. It's Z. That's me. And we're broadcasting live and in living color around the level horizontal realm that we call Earth. Peoples of Earth, how are you? It's Earth. It's not globe, planet. It's just Earth. It's where you live. There's really nowhere else. I mean, there may be other places, but I don't know. You can't go there. I don't really think anybody can go there. But we're all here together on this place that we call home. It's so great to see everybody. We're going to meet a lot of interesting characters today. Maybe we'll have some fun, some laughs, maybe some cries. I don't know. Either way, let's go to the chat. Here. Yeah, coming at you. Much love, much love. Now, there's other theme songs I could experiment with. Let me try this one for size. We'll do it live. See how it feels. Get that old-timey Hollywood feeling. This isn't bad. Hey, name that tune. Any of you older guys and dolls out there. Name the theme. Yeah, see, it doesn't quite have the same fucking pizzazz. It just doesn't. Let's try this one. Sterling Ray, bingo! You got it. Carol Burnett Show, everybody. This one's a classic. Many of you will know this one. This one might be too classic to adopt. But I like this one. Oh, hold on. I got to try this one on for size. This is evocative of some type of emotion. In me, at least. I'm just saying. Very, very theatrical. Very theatrical. Either way, let's say hi to the chat. I almost forgot to say hi to you guys. I don't want to ignore my chatters. Coming in early in the morning, open your eyes, connect dots. Good morning to you, Snowfire. We already said hi to you. Welcome. Somewhere in time. Coming at you. New bug. Good to see you, good sir. Three fingers. Yeah. Brandon Fenn in the house. Ruled by Saturn. Coming at you. Joe Moore. Shalom. Good sir. We already said hi to Rocky Shepherd. Much love. Bear Jew. Uncle Rick in the house. Mr. Pie. Coming at you. Lions Not Sheep says, how could you ban Moose? Is that you, Moose? Doesn't count if it is. Sock accounts don't count around here. Jim Pelter says, yo, sup? And said, Z, got to listen to Jeranism to get his flat earth facts before the show starts. It's okay that you're a Globie, Jim. You're accepted here. Just kind of keep it in your pants. Try to control yourself. It doesn't make you like a bad person. It just makes you kind of uninformed and maybe ignorant. But if you watch me long enough, Jim, you're going to go from ignorant to willfully ignorant. It's not a good place to be. Kind of means you're lying to yourself. You know? and then you lie to yourself, and then you're kind of lying to everybody else around you, and then we're back in that state where we're all just living in a fantasy world where we choose lies over reality, and we basically become ripe for control, domination, and despotic tyranny. I'm just saying. Hey, but much love, Jim. Good to see you. Did I say hi by Ruled by Saturn? We'll say hi again. Much love, Mr. Pizer in the house. Much love, Mr. Pie. Jonathan Montero. Buongiorno. Jay in the house. Much love, Jay. Much love, Jay. Dick Freedom Grower coming in. Dick, maybe you can come up here and talk about our friend Patrick from OTW News at some point, Dick. I don't mean like right now. I just mean in the future. Maybe when the dust settles on things, you and I could reminisce about the old days and our friend Patrick. Fascinating study in human behavior. Who else is here? Who else? Unindoctrinated. I already said hi to you. Good sir. Bear Jew is conjecturing that we kind of crossed over and tipped into the point of no return for humanity on 9/11/2001. Let me think about that, Bear Jew. Okay, that's a fair assessment. I like that. It's a threshold moment in history. We could look at that day as significant for so many reasons. Most of all, the shift in consciousness in humanity. Yeah, I can go with that. Ruled by Saturn seems to be comparing Flattoberfest to a big furry convention. We saw some of the chicanery that took place at Flattoberfest yesterday, brought to us by our good friend Rose 777. Who knows? Like I said, have fun there, guys. Nuba, are you still friends with that Andrew B? Remember, Nuba, we were looking forward to Andrew getting laid at Flattoberfest, but we haven't talked to Andrew in quite a long time. But here we are. Andrew, I hope things went well for you, good sir. We know you rented the honeymoon suite at one of those casino hotels. Hopefully things worked out for you. Yeah, it's easier to lie to people than it is to convince people they've been lied to. Yeah, good quote, Joe. You and I could both agree on that. London Man, the Rebuttal Bar, in the house. Much love. Tommy, I don't know what this Conspiranati trailer is, so he said it's his greatest work. I don't know, Tommy. We did a whole Tommy Day yesterday. We got Mitch Marslife in the house. Much love, Mitchell. Hope you're well. Again, my chat reminding me that Taylor Swift is a dude, apparently. I don't know. I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it. Steph Davis, Grand Rising to you. Pale Horse Rider, coming at you. Much love, much love. And the rest of you good people. You know who we don't see? We don't see our friend Bobby, the Bee Warrior. Sterling Ray says, Paul is obsessed with you, Z. Yeah, I know, Sterling. He is. I actually think he may have like feelings towards me. I don't mean like homosexual feelings. I mean, it's possible. But like some type of feelings. Who knows? Maybe the feeling's mutual. Maybe that's what it really is. Just Paul and I are just obsessed with each other. It could be. But I'm more focused on the Bee Warrior. I'm more focused on Bobby because I don't see him. Hey, London Man, has there been any Bobby sightings lately? London Man says the humans are wild. Oh, they're wild. Any Bobby sightings from my list? Have you guys seen him? He is still doing the Bee Warrior show. Jay, Matter of fact, let me see if I could pull it up. Because London Man, you may be particularly interested in this next video if I could find it. It appears that the Bobby the Bee Warrior is now basically producing love songs to the lovely Becks. Maybe we'll investigate that for anybody who may have missed it. Hopefully he didn't take it down. Yeah, here it is. Special treat this morning, guys. He said he was spotted on the edge of a building window. Right. London Man, he seems to be... I don't know. He may be handling his breakup with the lovely Rebecca Becks. He may be handling it better than we thought. Because here he is, London Man, apparently serenading the lovely Becks right here on YouTube. Let me make sure I can get it up here and give it all the attention and gravitas that it deserves. And I know it's to Becks because there's only one commenter under the video, and it's Rebecca 0.0 with a heart face and hearts and stuff. So it looks like Bobby's message to his lady love was received. Hold on. Bobby, this is for you, sir. You are one of a kind. Hey, look, you may be 75. You may have been through multiple marriages. Bobby, love's gained, love's lost. It's kind of the way life goes, good sir. Geez, Rocky Shepherd is so involved in the trans thing that he's wondering, indeed, if Z is not a girl. It looks like you're just saying it, Rock. You're just saying Z is a girl. Look, if Taylor Swift is a guy and I'm a girl, I don't know what to think. But anyway, let's focus on Bobby. Because Bobby... Tommy thinks he looks like a Jedi. What? Bobby has been accused of simping in the past. Now, I don't want to make any allegations or I don't want to make any like thoughtless claims against Bobby and say that he's currently simping. But Mr. Bobby, yeah, he's got no shirt on. Mr. Bobby, one might say that we're catching you engaging in simp-like behavior. He is living his best life, Snowfire, as he's like serenading his lady love, Becks, who appears to be responding in the comments. Well, let's get to it. Bobby, let's hear it, buddy.
This one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I left behind. Simple prop to occupy my time. This one goes out to the one I love. Fire! Fire! This one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I left behind. Oh my God. Simple prop to occupy my time. This one goes out to the one I love. Fire! Fire! This one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I left behind. Never thought that occupied my time. This one goes out to the one I love. Fire! Fire!
Okay. Man.
Fire!
What was that? Yeah, coming at you, the Bee Warrior, with his with his rendition of REM, the one I love, sent out to his lady love, the the incomparable Bex Factor. Oh man, the shirtless warrior. He was rocking the shirtless look. He's oh, Bobby. Talk about a gem, a diamond in the rough, so to speak. Big Stank says, "What's he smoking?" He's just in love, Big Stank. This is what it'll do to you at any age. Gentlemen, let that be a lesson to you. You can't teach an old simp new tricks. You just can't. Bobby. Okay, all right. Much love, though, Bob. Holy fuck. Talk about a classic. But hey, Bobby, who am I to rain on your parade, dude? Like somebody in the chat said, you're living your best life, man. And I could respect that. We can all respect that, man. Oh my God. Everybody's falling in love. Alumatami has his Metaversal Love Snowfire. It's a magical morning here on Z Show. Bobby is serenading the lovely Rebecca. It's a great morning. Cadence seems to be getting along swimmingly with Mr. Jeff, with Mr. Pie. What about you, Steph Davis? It looks like Steph, whatever this game of musical chairs is, you and I are kind of left without a partner. I mean, you know, looks like lonely old Steph Davis, lonely old Zetetic Warrior. I'm just putting it out there. There's a lot of opportunities for love connections here. Oh shit. Mr. Jeff Pie. Mr. Pizer saying he's locked in a closet. Pizer, you're locked in that Cadence closet? Come on, Cadence. Be nice to your to your love slaves. I told you, Cadence, that sex dungeon needs some amenities. You know, you can put maybe a commode in there, some running water, maybe a light. I'm just saying, dude. YouTube is the new Tinder, Mars Life. How's it working out for you? You let me know. You let me know how these ladies of the metaverse are panning out, dude. Holy crap. Well, we love you, Bobby. That was fucking classic. I'm sure we've just given London Man some like good material for his next experiment. What do you call it, London? Your social weirdo experiments? London, I'm sure you have no shortage of content when it comes to those social weirdo experiments that you're so fond of. Look no further than the YouTube shenanigans for the social weirdo stuff. No doubt about it, man. All right, everybody. Let's take a musical interlude. Don't go anywhere. More Z Show in a few moments. Much love.
It was a warm winter's day out in Somerville. And the fire was high, and my heart stood still. There's one thing prettier than a Georgia pine. She's on my mind. Well, I never meant to leave that woman alone, and I never meant to let her wait by the phone. There's one thing prettier than a Georgia pine, and she's on my mind. Hey, she's on my mind almost all the time, and I don't think I can spend another day alone. Hey, she's on my mind, and I miss her all the time. And I know wherever she is, there's my home, 'cause she's on my mind. Now it's my own fault, this crazy life I live, 'cause you can't take from a woman more than you got to give. And there's one thing prettier than a Georgia pine, and she's on my mind. Hey, she's on my mind almost all the time, and I don't think I can spend another night alone. Hey, she's on my mind, and I miss her all the time, and I know wherever she is, there's my home, 'cause she's on my mind.
That was Mr. Lucky Haskins serenading us with his musical stylings on this fine morning. We love you, Lucky. Mr. Lucky Haskins. He's a crowd favorite. He's a crowd pleaser. And guess what? Good old Lucky. He's still up there in the UP of Michigan making his videos. Lucky's like me. He's kind of stubborn. He comes on here every morning in spite of a bunch of bullshit. And he kind of tells you how it is. Gives it to you straight. He's consistently putting out those videos, Mr. Lucky Haskins. I'm going to drop his link in the chat for anybody who desires to go check out our friend Mr. Lucky Haskins. Much love. The UP. The UP. Mr. Benowitz says, to profess such a passionate, endearing love in a melodic form such as that can only be described as quite nearly audio organically orgasmic. Interesting, Benowitz. It appears that the YouTube bots have become even more sophisticated. Because, Benowitz, we know that there's no way you're an actual flesh and blood person, or should I say flesh and blood man or woman. You're obviously a bot. But the bot is learning, everyone. It's coming up with original words, like audio organically. Yeah. And then he says, oops, I spelled audio organically wrong. Which, how can you spell that wrong if you just made it up? You can spell it any way you want, really. Yeah, if you just make a word up, apparently, you just come up with the spelling, as long as it's somewhere close. The English language makes no sense anyway. It's insane. Guys, did you ever stop and think, like, why do we overcomplicate the way we spell things? Why not just spell things phonetically? Did you guys ever understand that? You know, there's only a certain number of speech sounds. There's basically 40 speech sounds that we produce. Some people say 39, some people say 42 or 43. Ask me how I know this. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, that's called phonetics. There's things called phonemes. Phonemes are represented as graphemes. Oh, what does he know? What does he know? My point is this. Why do we spell words the way we do when they could easily be spelled phonetically? Do you ever ask yourself that? It's almost like they complicated it on purpose. It's almost like they made it difficult so that only certain people would be able to learn how to read and become literate. It's almost like they occulted the language so it could be used by, kind of people on the inside, the in crowd. It's kind of weird. Why, when you look in a dictionary and how to pronounce a word, they spell it phonetically afterwards? Why not just spell the word phonetically? Yeah, Linda Man gets it. Rocky Shepherd said spell casting. But anyway, I'm actually have a guest in the back. Now, this guest in the back appears to be coming to us under some duress. I'm not sure he's coming to us under his own cognizance, so to speak. But luckily, we're here for this next guest because they may need our help. So I'm asking all the members and listening audience of the Z Show to Pay attention, because we may need some type of rescue mission this morning. I mentioned earlier that the lovely Cadence, who's here every morning, who we adore, I had mentioned that she seems to have a habit of luring men up to her remote cabin in in the Badlands of Michigan, and then trapping them in her sex dungeon. I mean, love nest, which appears to be a some type of like dungeon. I'm not sure, but I may have somebody currently communicating from the sex dungeon. Now, we have to be careful, because I know Cadence is listening to the show, but hopefully she's not listening right now, because we don't want to tip. What are you laughing at, Cadence? This is serious stuff. We don't want to tip Cadence off, because we don't know what will happen. So we need to treat this delicately. We apparently have a hostage that's communicating to us from the Cadence sex dungeon. I'm a little worried about this person. I don't know. Let me see if I can find him. Excuse me, sir. Sir, can you hear us? It appears as though you have internet connection. Can you hear us, sir? You may not be able to speak loudly, sir, but can you give us some indication into your health and well-being? How are you, sir? Are you?
I need water. Shh. I hear. Hold on. I'm really I'm really scared.
You're scared? Well, listen. We currently stay on the line. Help is on the way. We'll be sending in help. Is there any way you can? Is there any way you could maybe give us an indication into your location? Is there any geographical features that you could report to us that would give us an indication to where you are, good sir? Please.
I'm really thirsty. I'm tied up. I think I've been here for days. Maybe a week.
So what you're saying is, as the lovely Cadence is depleting all of your bodily fluids through her ritualistic sex practices, she's not replenishing them with the proper liquids.
No,
Cadence,
she drains all my fluids and doesn't give me any more.
All right, guys, look, listeners, we have a situation here. I want everyone to remain calm. We apparently have a hostage situation. This man appears to be trapped and being held hostage in a crazy Michigander's sex dungeon.
Keep it down a little. She's coming.
Oh, man.
I need help. I'm trapped. I've been here for a week. She said she's gonna do a ritual on me on Halloween.
Wait, she's gonna do a Halloween ritual on you? She's gonna dress you up as a jack-o'-lantern and carve you up slowly?
Yes. He told me that. I just need help. I need out of here.
So, Mr. Captive person, what can you tell us about the lovely Cadence? I mean, what's it like down there? Is she clean shaven, or she leave a little runway? Like, what does she have going on? Let us in.
She's just always naked. She's always naked, and she's always sitting on top of my face. It's your worst nightmare, Z.
Mm.
She makes you eat the Kundalinis.
So she forces all of her sex slaves to perform cunnilingus on her. That would be my worst nightmare.
Yes. Sometimes I can't breathe. And I'm thirsty, but she keeps squirting, so she's feeding me a squirt.
Oh, so the only fluids that you're receiving are her discharge fluids. That's interesting. Oh no, we have a situation. We have a situation, everybody. I want everyone to remain calm. I find that the best course of action is to remain calm when presented with such dire situations. All right? I assure you, we will have the authorities dispatched post haste to your location. We will find you, good sir. We will not leave you to suffer the
Thank you. It's the only way.
just,
I didn't know what else to do. So much squirting. I have to go. I have to hide.
All right. Look, we're going to let you go. Look, hang in there. We're going to let you go. We're going to just look, here's what you need to do. Just do as she tells you until we can get help there. So, eat out her vagina when she says so. All right? Give her that good D that she needs whenever she says so. Keep her whatever you do, satisfy all of her sexual urges.
She makes me call her Big Mama.
She makes you call her Big Mama. Wow. Holy mackerel. All right, you hang in there. Help's on the way. Oh my God. Wait, I put him back. It's okay, good sir. We will find you. I found my misery music. I couldn't find it. I finally found it. Well, Cadence, you never you never disappoint us. You have guys locked up in your closet. Cadence tried to get me in that closet once. It didn't take. It didn't take. Oh my God. People are insane. Insanity. What am I supposed to do with everybody? Much love, though, Mr. Jeff Pizer. You hang in there. We're sending help. Your situation is not nearly as dire as it appears. I agree, Rocker Chick. Somebody needs to report Cadence to the police. Get on that, everybody. Get on that. All right, let's switch gears. How do you switch gears from that? There's no soft transition from that. There's no like segue I could do to get out of that. You just do a hard left and proceed forward as if nobody noticed. It's the only way to handle that. It's really it. It is great music. Where do you go from there? I don't know. Maybe you go here. Maybe this is the only way out of that.
This one goes out to the one I love.
It's all right. We're not playing that again. Fear not, everybody. I'll spare you that one.
Hello,
I'll
everyone.
spare you that. All right. All right, hard left. Let's jump into the Z files, because you guys know each morning. Yours truly, that's right, me, the Zoetic Warrior. I try to bring you a little bit of information about the world that you live in. As I said earlier, it seems as though many have chosen to live in a state of intellectual, emotional, spiritual, and cognitive fantasy. Many people have chosen a lie over the truth, apparently because it's convenient. So let's take a moment to bring regality into everybody's world as I present to you the latest installment of the Z Files. That's the point where I need an intro to the Z Files. I'll have to come up with something, all right. So fill in the intro here, and okay, intro's done, and then commence with the Z Files. I want to bring you a short clip today from two Russian cosmonauts, old guys kind of like Z. I mean, I'm not as old as these gentlemen. Kind of like Bobby's age. Gentlemen that have hit a certain age where they appear to no longer care about holding up appearances, propping up lies and deception. Gentlemen who appear to have come to a point in their lives where they understand that we live in this temporary existence that we call life on Earth, and that there are things in this life that are worthy of standing on. Gentlemen like myself who've come to an understanding that there are fates truly worse than death, and one of those is selling yourself out to this realm, turning yourself over to this illusory world that we call physical. With that, I bring you the story from two Russian cosmonauts. So you don't need Z to come on here and tell you each morning about the lies of science, the lies of governments, the lies of academia. I'll let these two cosmonauts, these two comrades, I'll let them tell you. Let's begin.
Hello, everyone. This is absolutely huge news. We've already had one cosmonaut claim that the Earth is flat. His name was Miroslav Hermaszewski. Here he is getting a photograph with a flat earther, and this is a Wikipedia article on Hermaszewski. Please watch his interview.
Pan tam był. Czy Ziemia rzeczywiście jest kulą zawieszoną w kosmosie?
All right, I'll translate. Z's going to translate for you, because I don't think many of you speak Rusko. You've been there. Is the Earth really a sphere hanging in outer space? Appears as though this man, this astronaut, or cosmonaut I should say, is being interviewed. I believe he's Polish, specifically, but I'm not sure. Now, have I gone through and translated this from Russian to English? No, I have not. But we're going to trust that the translation is accurate, because I'm sure we could prove otherwise easily. So it says, you've been there. Is the Earth really a sphere hanging in space? Let's see how this old man answers as he's being interviewed. It looks like a book.
Jest płaska, tak jak oczekują i
And he just says, Earth is flat. As some expect. I didn't expect this question.
nie spodziewałem się co prawda tego pytania, ale zapewniam pana, że jest płaska.
He says, I assure you it's flat. Look at his face. Let's try to interpret his facial expression here. One could try to interpret this as sarcasm on his part. I'm willing to admit that. That we could be taking something out of context here. We don't know what the conversation was that preceded this. So I'm not sure if his smile is sort of like a devilish grin acknowledging the joke, or just the smile of a man who knows that he's unburdening himself and is courageously just telling the truth. It kind of feels nice sometimes just to tell the truth, especially in a world of such deception, where the truth is seems to be hidden and occulted in so many ways. He might just be displaying the pleasure of unburdening himself. Let's continue.
Generał Mirosław Hermaszewski, jak dotąd pierwszy
He said, we interviewed General Miroslav Hermalzeski. So far, the first and last Pole in space. Gotcha. So he is Polish. He's a general.
pierwszy i ostatni Polak, który odbył lot orbitalny. Dziękuję serdecznie za rozmowę.
Dziękuję, kłaniam się.
That was awesome, but now we have a Soviet cosmonaut who has said that we have never been to space.
All right, so now we're going to another guy. Soviet, not a Pole. A guy named Igor Volk. Let's see what he says about space.
Cosmonaut's name is Igor Petrovich Volk. Mr. Volk even received the Medal of the Hero of the Soviet Union. I have included the translation of the interview, which you can verify by clicking on the CC button on YouTube. Now, please watch the interview.
Says, after all, you were a hero in the Soviet Union, and we can trust you. He said, look, the code of honor prevents the cosmonauts from talking about what happened in space. That's just weird. Why would there need to be a code of honor to prevent people from talking about what happens in space? That's the first thing. Do pilots have a code of honor that prevent them from talking about what happens as they fly their airplanes? Would an aeronaut who basically takes balloons up, whether it's hot air or helium filled, to very high altitudes, do they have a code of honor that prevent them from talking about what happens? Why would a cosmonaut have one? I'm just saying. Let's continue.
Сказал, что вроде чести космонавтов, что они не говорят о том космосе. А им говорить нечего. Я об этом...
He said they just don't know anything about that. Not sure the reference.
Космонавти да говорят за това, което става в космоса.
And then he says that we haven't been to space. Now let's look at this gentleman as he says we haven't been to space. Look at him. He's obviously of advancing age. He has a nice suit on, a nice collared shirt, and he's decorated with some type of medal on his left shoulder. But he's an old man. Just picture him like in a home somewhere, you know, in a house coat. He's an old guy. He can barely open his eyes. Maybe he just hit a point where he said, I'm just going to say a truthful thing. Because why not? What can they really do to me now?
Те просто не знаят нищо такова. Ние не сме били в космоса. Ако някой твърди това, това не е...
Someone claims that we have been. It is not true. It is not the truth. Again, yours truly, I don't know Russian. Well, we're going to go by the translation here. Now, as I said, of course, these are out of context. But unlike the previous clip, this one appears to have a little bit more context behind it. It appears as though he's unequivocally claiming that if someone claims that we've been to space, it is not true. It is not the truth.
Това не е вярно, не е истина.
Това е поредната хипотеза, над която ще се наложи.
And then the host says, this is another hypothesis on which I and the viewers of A Matter of Perspective will have to think about for a long time. Seems as though the interview handled that very well. So kudos to him.
Може заедно с зрителите на въпросна гледна точка да размишляваме дълго.
He said, good. It is good when people think, and I like that. I'm going to read that again. The cosmonaut, so-called cosmonauts, is good. It is good when people think, and I like that. I agree with you, good sir. What was his name? Ivor? You and I could agree on that. It is good when people think. Unfortunately, it's becoming less and less common for people to think.
Когато хората мислят. Това ми харесва.
Игор Петрович, благодаря ви за участието.
Igor, that's his name. Igor Petrovich, thank you for your appearance.
Въпрос на гледна точка.
Моля.
There you have it. Two truly brave cosmonaut whistleblowers have now told you that space is fake. How much more evidence do you need?
I don't know. You tell me. Because as I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, it really isn't about the evidence. It's not about the facts. It's about people choosing to live in a fantasy because it's comfortable. Now, it begs the question, how can we have almost the entirety of this world population existing under the delusion that we currently see? To me, it seems like there's only one possibility, is that nobody is really running anything. Well, what do you mean, Z? What do you mean? What I mean is, if this is true, if what I and others like me, if what we accept, I'm not going to say believe, if what we accept and understand is true, it means that who you think is running your country is not. Who you think is running this economy, these businesses, these corporations, is not. And maybe that's the scary part. Maybe that's what keeps people from accepting these obvious truths, is that to come to the understanding that the world that you're presented with is a farce, a phony, and a charade. That coming to this understanding is so difficult and so threatening to one's identity, one's personality and persona, that people choose to ignore objective reality and continue to participate in a farce. That's enough. That'll do it for today's episode of The Z Files. I definitely need intro and outro music for the Z Files. I just have to. I want to address a comment left by, I believe it was Chris C. One of these comments says, so the moon isn't real then, and gravity is a lie along with eclipses. Okay, Chris. Not sure where you got that from. Don't even know where I could even begin to address that. What other comment did you leave that I wanted to get to? He said, so like GPS doesn't exist or even satellites. Again, Chris, I come on each morning and I tell people that I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm trying to show you how to think. And when I judge your statements, it makes me understand why more and more I need to teach people how to think. Because you're evidencing an inability to do so, good sir. Because you're already off on a bunch of illogical tangents that are really not relevant to the conversation. You're presupposing a number of things, and you're certainly begging the question. You're shifting the burden, and that's just 3 logical fallacies that I was easily able to come up with based on your presentation. And what was the other one that you said I wanted to get to? See if I could find it. Maybe I'll just paraphrase. I believe you said, so what's underneath? Which may be your biggest presupposition and begging the question, see? Because when you say what's underneath, you're presupposing something, Chris. You're presupposing the model that you believe in. You're presupposing heliocentricity. You're presupposing the model of space you've been presented with. When you ask the fallacious question of, so what's underneath? You are obviously unaware of your assumptions. But it's okay, Chris. Keep coming here each morning. Keep listening. Maybe chat a little less. Maybe, I don't know, try to contain your desire to react, to respond, to lash out. Maybe try to contain your emotional response as I'm giving you information that is challenging the paradigm, the lens through which you view this world, and thus your very identity. It's understandable, Chris, because this information is challenging. It's challenging you in a very particular way because it gets to the very heart of how we define ourselves. But I implore you, good sir, maybe, just maybe, as you listen to me each morning, do so in a way where you can separate from your triggered emotions and try to approach the discourse and conversation logically, dispassionately, and with some degree of reason, critical thought, and God-given discernment. I have a guest. I didn't even drop the link, and I have a guest. Oh, I dropped the link earlier for Mr. Pizer, so he can report to us from the sex dungeon. Let me drop the link again as we open up the Z Show to all you lovely guys and dolls, where yours truly gives everyone a chance to come up and lend your voice to today's conversation. It always gets a little rough, a little ruckus when I open up the panel, because you really never know who's going to pop up here. And that's the joy of this metaverse. That's where Z derives his enjoyment. Because otherwise it can be quite a dark and gloomy place, if you let it get to you. Links in the chat, everybody. Maybe I'll do a little interlude here. Not a long interlude, but like a short interlude. Just to give people a chance to come on in, fire up your computers, your smartphones, and otherwise these smartphones. In the ultimate sense of irony, like we have smartphones, which are seemingly making everybody really dumb. The smarter your phone, the dumber the person. They're inversely correlated, everybody. There's an inverse correlation between how smart your phone is and your level of intelligence. Seems like it. Which is weird. We're all become dependent on this technology. But as I said, The panel is open to the metaverse. Come on up, people. All are welcome. All are welcome. All are welcome.
There is a fifth dimension. Beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow. Between science and superstition. And it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Where is this place and when to it? The answer is, it doesn't make any difference. In this year or 100 years hence. On this planet or wherever there is human life. Lesson to be learned in the Twilight Zone.
It's as if someone had pulled out some kind of plug in me. Everything, emotion, feeling, fear, trainer.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. We have some lovely people in the back waiting to come up here. Lend their voices to the Z Show. To the Z Show. Rock E. Shepherd says, I'm shy. I somehow doubt that, Rocky. Something tells me that you're not a shy guy. Smith W's letting us know that he tried for 2.5 hours last night, unsuccessfully, to make a video with better edits. That he needs better equipment. Yes, Smith. Production value seems to be a major factor here. You know, the production value. Let's bring some people up. Somebody back named Austin Spheres. They appear to look a lot like Austin Power. Is it Austin Powers or Austin Power? It's been a while since I've seen the movies. I think it's Austin Power. I don't know. Somebody will correct me. But either way, I have Austin Spheres back here. It could be a number of people. There's a number of Austins in this so-called Flat Earth community. There's Awesome Austin, who we get to experience here occasionally on the Z Show. There's Austin Whitsitt, who apparently the lovely Cadence is hopelessly in love with. And now we have Austin Spheres. Let's see what Austin has to say. Welcome to the stream, Austin.
This isn't the flat earth, Austin, baby.
Oh, this is Austin Spheres. This is like not the flat earth, Austin. It's the globe.
Yeah, that planet you're on is like a disco globe.
We needed a globey, Austin. So...
Do I make you globy? Do I?
So
God
tell
damn
us
it!
what
I told you to play Ludacris #1 spot.
I don't even know what that is, Austin.
It's a fucking Ludacris song called #1 spot. All you need is like the first 10 seconds of it. Can you do that? Can you do one fucking thing? I gave you the news show yesterday. Can I get the first?
Were you
10
back
seconds?
there as Benton too? Were you also back there as Benton? Were you going to come up as Benton?
Fuck no. Why would I ever be Benton? That's like when I tell Carl, why would I ever put Karl Marx's face over me if I'm not socialist? Why would I ever imitate Benton? Why would I want to be Benton?
It was you, because I saw it as you, and then you switched to Benton.
If you're accusing me of imitating Benton, we got to throw down, bro.
Well, Benton, if that was you, come back up. But I doubt it was Benton. Tommy,
don't get
did
all
you see?
Benton
Did you
out of
see?
shape.
Did you see the display that was put on the OTW news
No, I don't watch that
show?
show either.
Well, it was all about Z yesterday, and
You Paul has the keys to that show, right?
I watched Benton get leaned on and OTW in real time, like in front of everybody. It's a shame you
Kind
missed
of
it,
like
Tommy.
I watched you get leaned on, baby.
Yeah, it's interesting watching people get leaned on.
Interesting how this is a community of cowardice. This is why I have the hottest girl in this fucking community. Because I'm not a bitch pushover to that fucking faggot fat boy. And I mean, you grew out
watch
of
the
it.
F word.
You grew out of it,
I don't like the F word on my show.
Oh,
And fat is not the
I
F word
don't
I'm
like
referring
those
to.
guys around me. And I don't mean gay. I mean, you know, what I described you guys as.
Tommy, you said last night on Flowstream that you've had a penis in your mouth. Your quote was the first time the penis was in your
doing a
mouth.
callback to see who watches multiple community things. I mean, I'm not gay. The dude whose dick I suck is a fucking flamer. You got a problem with it? I'm dropping the bit. Hold on, I'm dropping the bit. Like,
hold on, I'm talking to
amateur hour.
Benton. I'm talking to Benton because I'm asking if that was him.
Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to talk to Ben?
Well, if the guy's showing up on my show,
Bring him up. Bring him up. I'll change my name to some Benton name too.
Well, he's on his show. He's blabbing away about
He can
something.
be on both. That's the Paul thing.
He's
to
not
do,
allowed to be on my show. He was told specifically yesterday that
Oh my
he's
God,
not allowed to
still
be on my
keyed
show.
over? He's still keyed up. Can you show our names for a second?
Hold
Can
on.
you show our names? You see what I did there? See what I did there?
Not sure.
You get it, guys? Z, you get it? You get it? Like bent out of shape, Benton out of shape. You get it? You're not gonna top yesterday, man. You might as well just. We gotta lower the bar back to ever get back to yesterday. You can't.
I
do
don't
2 in a row.
understand. What was so good about yesterday?
I don't know. It just flowed yesterday. We had Rose. She was working it. We were all like flowing. We were cooking. She was like the Rachel Ray in the kitchen. No, what was the hot Italian chick that used to do the cooking show? That's the closest thing I can think of to like a Jewy nose. Is that hot Italian chick?
Who's
me
hotter?
what band
Who's hotter, Jews or Italians?
I mean, they both. I dig that nose on. If the nose is working on either, they both have like the fat ass possibility. They both can have TNA. I don't know, man. It's all up to the individual. I just find far less African American women hot than any other nationality, unless they're mixed with something. If they're mixed with something, it's fair game. sorry, I don't like my ladies so tribal. Like the way the Filipinos are all androgynous.
Hold
the
on,
Africans
stop
are like,
yapping, because I have Benton backstage. Benton, I specifically heard yesterday that you were banned from coming to Z
yeah,
Show.
let's find out where he stands on this whole.
Come on,
keyed up thing. I'm
Benton.
confused.
This is the fact that you're here. Is like against some protocol.
Like, what's he
sir.
gonna do? What's Paulie Boy gonna do?
Well, it's not about.
He went at Talcott yesterday as if it was Talcott's fault I showed up in Unslavia, and he gives him the, hey, Talcott, don't be letting your people come here. I unsubbed from that dude before yesterday. I don't know what he's talking about, your people.
Nobody knows what you're talking about when it comes to that stuff.
Hey,
Benton,
what's up, Z?
What's up, Ben? It's good to see you, man.
You too.
So
Well, he
I
doesn't
witnessed
sound
the.
like Benton over
Oh,
there.
it's Benton.
me.
I
Okay.
witnessed the events of yesterday, Benton.
Oh.
I witnessed what went down. I checked in, and yeah, it's Benton.
You a little cold or something? Just something that sounded good.
Well, the guy's apparently like
Get a new
like
mic?
in a state of terminal illness. Tommy,
A different
give him
angle.
break.
No, we're past that. That was season something. It's over.
You
Yeah,
don't just get past terminal
We're all
illnesses. It doesn't
dying
work like that.
equally now. It's nice little nihilism community.
Benton, come on. We saw the optics. Go ahead. Floor's yours.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely rethinking some of that. I had the night to reflect on what that was and this morning, and I've addressed quite a bit of it on my broadcast this morning. And yeah, what I've
Well,
come to
that's
the
why we're going to
conclusion.
need you to repeat it.
Oh,
All
well,
right, Tommy, I'm
fantastic.
going to backstage you because you're just going to
No,
step all
we're
over. I want to
cooking.
leave you up here for color. Tommy, you're a good color man, but you step on people too much.
Oh man,
Well, I prefer
guy.
man of color.
I'm
Fuck,
used
I
to Tommy's.
stumbled on that one.
I'm used to this though. We got a fairly decent rhythm, but I understand what you're saying, Z. He's
Yeah, let's bring Z into our thing.
Oh, Jesus. Freaking
Z,
mackerel, Tommy.
say an end.
This is the Z Show, though. I have joined the Z Show, and I'm happy to be here at the Z Show, certainly. But
All
yeah,
right, Ben. So here's the thing, Ben. I don't want to speak for you. I'll let you speak. Go ahead. Floor's yours.
Oh yeah, appreciate that, and I'll be brief. So, and this reminded me of something I had with Bex, where she almost succeeded in roping me with whatever she had going on with London Man, and I came very close to involving myself in that before I sort of came to my senses and was like, "What am I doing? This is not my style." London Man's done nothing to me, and I think that's where I'm at with you, Z. Is I feel like I got pretty close to getting roped into something that doesn't involve me, has nothing to do with me, and you yourself have never done anything to me. So I'm certainly rethinking that from whatever you may have seen yesterday. I'm not entirely proud of my performance yesterday. I'll put it to you that way. So I'm certainly rethinking things.
Interesting take, Mr. Benton.
Thank you.
And I appreciate what you're saying here this morning. Look, a lot of this is just kind of bullshit, but a lot of it's not. There's real life things going on here. We know certain content creators, they make their living here. Many people on YouTube do well here. They invest time, energy, and attention, and I have no problem with people being compensated. So I would never go against a creator who has financial interests here. All right. Probably all of us have some degree of financial interest on some level. I think we could all admit that. So when people say, Benton, this is just all metaversal nonsense in games, that's not true. I just want to say that in general. I'm not even speaking about you or anybody else in general. I'm just placing that out as an umbrella concept that we can get around, because there seems to be a narrative that people want to play when it's convenient to say, this is just games, it doesn't really matter. I think that would be disingenuous. Also, the topics that we cover, I don't think any of us would be here in a way that's completely frivolous based on the topics that are covered. Many of us are here because we're passionate about certain things that go above and beyond just mere games. So with that being said, it's understandable to me, Benton, that a certain content creator, if they want to spend time and energy with you and on your channel, it's understandable to me that they would not want you interacting with another channel that may go against their interest. All right. So if a certain larger content creator that you participate with has an issue with you participating with me, that's understandable. I actually understand that dynamic. But I guess the question would be you in your situation, how you choose to handle the dynamics that you're getting from the different sides and the different camps. I do not fault you either way. I can only speak for me. And for me at this time, my content, my message, my ability to create on this platform is primary in my book, right? So any allegiance that I may make with an individual, if said allegiance threatens or in some way challenges my ability to be an independent content creator, I will necessarily distance myself. Whether or not you choose that same course of action, it's completely on you, of course. So I appreciate what you're saying here today. I understand the dynamics. I did think that some of your presentation on the OTW show was at least surprising to me, but I do think it's interesting that you maybe reevaluated some of that and you find yourself here this morning. So I don't want to belabor the point, Benton. I think, I want to give you an opportunity now to have the floor, say what you need to say, and then we'll do our thing. Go ahead, please.
Right on, brother, and thanks for the opportunity. And that was all well said. And yeah, I always review my own performance, after the fact, typically just in my own mind. And the fact is, that's not how I would choose to represent myself going forward. However, I certainly understand as some version of the man in the arena, which is what you also are, Z. I've had, and real quick, people like Mitchell have tried to take me to task and hold me accountable. The reality is, the live broadcast is the accountability. I'm putting that out there for everybody to see publicly. And, that's how I feel about my performance on OTW is that's me, putting out something that I am not going to be able to hold myself accountable to going forward because, I can see that that's not how I want to represent myself. And that's some of those ideas was not what I resonate with inside of myself. And, I'm here for my own purposes, to grow and change in the way I need to grow and change inside of myself. And if other people can, interact with that in certain kind of ways, all the better. And so what I'm coming from now is I can see that what I was doing was I was attempting to use another person. In this case, that would be Paul, in order to, magnify various aspects of my own self-image that I don't even care about anymore. Almost as a way to sort of get my own attention, to get certain numbers on a channel that, ultimately I don't care that much about. And, I can make a meme of being out of content. The fact is I am the content. I can't ever really run out of content. Much like yourself, Z, we have a certain ability to do a certain type of thing, and that's not going to stop. There's an ebb and a flow to the, how good or bad the material is. That's always going to be there. But my thing is, realizing that whatever is between you and another person or between that person and yourself, or I'm not involved in that. Right. But then I'm seeing that I'm allowing myself to get swept up in something based on my own foolish desire to accrue a perceived benefit to myself that I don't even care about. And I don't know if I'm even making sense, but I've rethought that overnight. And in fact, what I've realized is that, Paul talks about, people breaking bad against him. Well, I don't know that I ever broke good, meaning I've never fully agreed with some of the fundamentals of certain ideas that he espouses at times. So what I've realized is, all of this drama and all the personality stuff, that's good for foreplay. But at a certain point, it's time to fuck. And I'm ready to fuck, meaning I'm ready to get into the ideas. So that's what I mean to do is I aim to get into these ideas because there's certain things I'm hearing that I've known the whole way through. That shit's never going to wash. And, I'm not interested in how people live and how they choose to conduct themselves. That's for them to answer for. So I was even getting so deep where it was like, hey, he's saying you're not holding people accountable. That's not my function here. I'm not here to hold Z accountable. That's not why I'm here. So I got so lost in my own sauce. It's like now I'm actually believing I'm buying into this thing But why am I buying into it? I was buying into it for what I was trying to get. And that is a manipulation. That is me, expressing in a lesser form than I would otherwise. And I will answer for that. I will atone for that. I will repent for my own purposes, right, in my own life. But and that's not fair to Paul for me to be that way. So I see why he's had a perception of people, breaking bad, right? I see why, there's been that perception. But that's not me, right? I'm going to do me. And the fact is, I'm going to go where I want to go, and I'm going to do what I want to do. And Z's never done anything to me. Whatever's happened with other people, that's what's happened with other people. But now I'm just rambling. So I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Well, my thought is, I appreciate you coming up, Benton. And, I'm hearing your words, and I think they were well spoken. So much love, man. I'll talk to you another time, man. It's good talking to you, bro.
Hey, thank you, man. Take care.
Back at you.
Yeah.
It's Benton, everybody. Coming strong. Coming strong in the paint. Got a number of people back here. Let's let up London, man. London, welcome back to the show.
What's happening, Z? Mic check.
Little soft.
Any chance you could turn me up?
Yeah, let me get in here and see if I could turn you up on
my end as well.
Let me hold on. I'm just gonna go to StreamYard and turn your mic up. Yeah. I'm gonna take it off the automatic and just crank it up. See how that works.
Mic check. I turned it up on my end. Is that any better?
Yeah, you're better. I turned it up here too. What's up, London? What's on your mind this morning? Good to talk to you, man.
Good stuff. Salute to you and salute to the grand old chat room. I come up here to catch Benton also. But yeah, big up Benton. Big up Benton wherever you are, bro.
Yeah, I would say big up to Benton too. I'll have to say I was pleasantly surprised by his appearance just now. I was watching some of the goings on of yesterday. We don't really need to get into it. And I was feeling a little, I just thought it was interesting the way things are playing out, really. I don't really, like I was about to say I was feeling a certain way. I'm not feeling much about it. I'm just more observing the dynamics of this platform. It's quite interesting to me how things play out. Much like you see dynamics in the geopolitical stage play out, as much as they could be seen as organic, how entities respond and react, and how entities behave when they're in an environment, much like the geopolitical environment.
Yeah.
London man, give him somebody to finger. I don't know who that was for, but maybe just giving it to the whole internet. But anyway, interesting just watching how people behave, because you would think that people behave in their interest. So when you see somebody performing some action, behavior, you would assume it's in their interest. But the point is one may believe that their interests are served in a way that another may disagree with, right? So people may think they're acting in their interest, but are they really? Have they made the proper calculation? Are they not being influenced in other ways? Are people acting in their short-term interest? Are they sacrificing their long-term gain for some perceived short-term benefit? There's a lot of ways to look at how people behave, but I see a lot of the dynamics being played out with these content creators, much like you would see in that type of environment. You can see the same being played out in like a jailhouse, a playground. You see certain fundamental aspects of human behavior that are evidenced here. Go ahead, London man. The floor is yours.
I mean, all this evidence on display just gives me more confirmation just to stay away and just, interact from a distance. Keep doing what I do with my social weirdo experiments. In that way, no one can say I'm really starting any trouble, because they're giving me content without me having to interact with them, right? So that is my take on it. But yesterday, I thought you and Benton's interaction was very cool. That was needed. That was definitely needed. Because I could see a big rift approaching us with your community and Benton's community. And I rock with Benton's community. You've got a lot of interesting and fun people over there. And likewise for your community as well. It's very dynamic when you bring them both together, right? And you're both good content creators. And you know, I like what you both bring to the table. Really, it's pretty fascinating actually. But I'll tell you what was funny: your interaction with Christos yesterday. That was quite hilarious.
Yeah,
hilarious.
I thought it was interesting. What did you find funny about it in particular?
Everything. Just the way you managed to slide my name in there, you know, like you come up to address Benton, you know, whether Christos wanted to be involved in that as well, but he managed to slide my name in there very quick, you know. But it's funny because things like that, you know, it seemed like it was stopping you from mending things with Benton. I think a lot of people don't want to see you know, you and Benton on a cool level, I suppose. There's a lot of leaning going on. There's a lot of leaning. I ain't got a problem with the leaning because no one leans on me, right? Let's get that straight. No one can ever lean on London. But I see a lot of people getting leaned on out here. It's pretty funny, to be honest. It's pretty funny, I must admit. Pretty funny.
A lot of it, London Man, is just it's just power dynamics. It's just the way things kind of play out naturally. I'm seeing that more and more. I no longer expect people to play above the belt, as you like to term. I don't expect that from people. Why should I? Right? They're just going to behave the way they're going to behave. People have different interests, different motives, stuff like that. I have Moose in the back. I'm not particularly fond of Moose lately, London Man, only because his behavior to me is very off-putting. I'm not finding humor in it. I see you back. Are you still back there, Moose? I'm just not in love with like the Moose presentation. I'm almost even hesitant to like address it at this point. What are your thoughts, London? I'm going to defer to you on this one.
Let me put it this way. I think Moose, or as Paulie would call him, Moose Creature, I think he just needed a bit of guidance, right? He needed a bit of guidance because there was a lot of lost people out here. I think Moose needs a bit of guidance. I'm actually going to, believe it or not, I'm actually going to give Moose the keys part-time for the rebuttal bar because, you know, we might need a little producer over there. So hopefully Moose can get back in the swing of things, you know. I think he just needs something to look after, right? So I'm going to give him the rebuttal bar, you know, to do his thing, promote, let him be the producer, get back into the groove of things. And maybe we might see the Moose that we all used to love and adore before.
Interesting. Wow, that's news. He actually dropped out from backstage. I don't think he liked my I don't think he liked my whole lead up to that. But I don't know, Moose, just sort of like creepy and stuff and weird. And you know what's weird, London Man, is even more I'm noticing that I like the open part, but my numbers, my audience is more interested when it's just me up here doing my thing. I find that so funny. And like even Benton pointed it out. And I do agree with what you said that Benton and I share a similar characteristic that we can kind of get on, turn the mic on and like do our thing and kind of hold a show. But I do think I'm going to keep this portion. I like talking to like you, London Man, and other people. It opens up a different dynamic that I find valuable. It's valuable for me. And I think it lends a certain certain something to the stream. But I'm realizing that, man. It's not like my numbers go up for my panel. And I kind of do that on purpose. I watch other creators. Like I was watching somebody last night, you know, and they had like 10 people in their panel. And it was great. And it was a mix of people. But I start to think, I'm like, okay, well now what happens when those people don't show up? Or are you really able to express yourself with that type of presentation. I'm not sure. Let's get Tommy up here because he's in Ultra Spurg mode in the back.
Oh, I am not. You guys blow my fucking mind.
Tommy, I noticed there's a rift between an apparent rift between the relationship between you and London Man. Is that something you care to address?
Talking about both. I'm gonna whoop both your asses now because I think most of the chat remembers the three of us allegedly stood ground together against the forces of Unslavia. You guys are still talking like you're sightseers here in these streets. In London, I don't know if you understand the Panelverse and what entity we are as we partake in this. When you make content, you are getting involved. If you don't want involved, you go do your Yeti Dicks and STF with people's names. Like, that's how you take shots, is to make content at people. That's what I'm trying to explain to Cynthia. I've got 2 hits on her so far. She's just slapping my face over Dare commercial. But you're young, London Man. This is the thing. A lot of us have been not leaning on you, not taking swings, because I didn't realize the thing I was trying to figure out with you is, goddamn, dude, I'm 10 years older than Paul. He's 4 years older than you. You're just a young whippersnapper around here, London.
First of all, Tommy, I have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to this.
Oh, you're Drewing me. You're CBOing me right now.
Right, let me just quickly get in rough fitting real quick. I didn't say I wasn't not interacting with people, right?
Oh, I know. You build a rebuttal bar and then
hey Z, I'm out. Z, peace. I'm out.
Yeah, like you kicked me out of the rebuttal bar.
We can't talk with you up here.
Take off.
No one can talk.
Hold on, Tommy. See, you're killing people.
You can't. Right, so this is the thing with Tommy Z, right? He uses mind tricks on you. He'll say you're using daddy's tricks, right? We all know who daddy is, apparently, right? You're using daddy's tricks. But this is the only way you can get through to Tommy. There's no other way. You have to backroom creatures like this. There's no other way. But to him, it's you're using daddy's tactics. Well, fuck it then. I am Black Daddy after all. So Black Daddy does what Black Daddy does. I backroom the children's. Because they can't even get a fucking word in. But it's crazy.
He's got a whole narrative going, man. Tommy, that's his charm, but that's also his like downfall. Bundy, he appears to be on like an epic run. He's been on every panel that I've tuned into. Guys, you have to understand something about me. I'm a little different than maybe some people may think. I'm not on here all day. I'll be doing something. I'll pick up my phone. I'll be like, oh, this person's live. I check in. Maybe I go, maybe I listen, maybe I don't. The reality is every time I check in, Tommy is on the panel and he's just going off. He's running his mouth. And so that's the thing. For me to have London Man up here, Tommy, he doesn't want you talking over him. But I watched your relationship with Tommy, London Man, change on your most recent episode of the Rebuttal Bar. It seems like you kind of crossed the line. Tommy's crossed some kind of line with you where you're not having it anymore. Is that something recent? Like I just noticed you kind of had enough of him.
Yeah,
recently.
That's very recent, Tom. Z, because like I said, I've never had a problem with Tommy. I always thought Tommy was going after the weirdos. I didn't look at Tommy as a weirdo, only to the last few days or whatever you want to call it. He's moving a bit, very different in my opinion, very different. But I ain't got a problem with him. All he's got to do is just stay over there and I'll stay here. He brings too much feelings when he comes to the panels. Like, it's not that deep. With all these people that, that meant to be on his neck, it's not that deep. Like, he goes to them. They don't come to him, right? He goes to them. And I'm like, fuck you going to them for? Z don't go to these people who apparently got a problem with him. I don't go to these people.
You don't see me in London go because we know what Tommy is. We know Tommy is in his own strata. And he's kind of doing his thing. You know who else, London Man? Mr. Jack Talcott. He's another one that I don't have time for Jack. Because it's the same thing to me. I'm seeing he's being kind of disingenuous. Look, all Jack has is his sincerity If he's going to play the whole Jack thing up, he needs to stick to the Jack thing. But no, he's doing weird things, and he's going to exclude anybody else who wants to work with him. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on Talcott? Have you noticed the same kind of behaviors that I've seen?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen it. But, I mean, it's crazy, right? Because I've heard people, like, even when Paul's had problems with me and you, right, and he spoke about it's going to be a long way for us to come back, right, with him. But it's never been a long way, because I don't go over there to try and fit in. I've been over there probably 3 times since I've come across Paul, right, on his platform. But the way how people treat Jack, right, that whole camp over there, I've heard them all spurg out about Jack. But then when you tune into the next show of Jack, they're all sitting up there with him. I'm like, how do you not do this shit? Like, especially, what's his name, Wizard and OTW. I can get Paul and Jack's dynamic. Trust me, I understand that. I really do. But even for the Paul and the rest of them, for the most part of it, they would slag him off. He's this, he's that, he's that, he's this. And the next morning it's Jack and the fellas up there. I'm like, fucking hell. The circuit is back on again. So
it's all a bit, look, to me, I understand the appeal to a certain demographic. I understand why certain people would be interested in it. I'm just not interested in, like, the complete theatrics of it. I like shtick, London, man. I like bits. I like joking around. But that particular type of theatrics, it's not appealing to me anymore. One of the reasons why you're seeing these so-called communities become more and more separate is this just going to be a natural thing. The audience needs to find the content that they resonate with, which is okay. For me, London Man, this is my tactic, and it's always been like this, is just to present the Z show. Do my thing, see where it lands. I'm not going to chase demographics. I'm not going to chase an audience. I don't think it's a long-term strategy. I don't think it's a viable long-term strategy. I really don't. Tommy's trying to get in the back again. Tommy, London Man is just going to fucking get more pissed off as you come up here and run your mouth off. See, let's set up Snafu. I see you back there, Tom. Relax.
Mr. London, Mr. Z, good to see both of you as always.
Good morning, good sir.
You know, you're talking about Talcott, and I'd like to mention something about this whole thing. You know, I'm kind of tired of these fake frauds. Like, I went to this post office the other day to prove Wizard was a fraud. Did you see my fake stamp I made and went up there and proved it? But here's the deal. Jack Talcott, let me just be real with you. Stopping wars and all this dumb bullshit when I'm out here really going against criminals, traitors, and frauds and other things, and then you're out here doing your show and London's doing a show, but there's called a genuine factor here. Not an entertainment. I mean, we're all about entertainment. We're all about I get it. But people like Jack Talcott are the most scummiest of them all when it comes to just acting like he cares, doesn't care, playing the game. He's really only there for the fucking the clout, and just he feels accepted having a YouTube channel. I don't see him putting work in, stopping wars. I don't see him doing shit. Same with other people, you know, I've mentioned many times. Now, if you're authentic and genuine about who you are and what you produce, then there's no issues. And that's how I look at Z, and I look at you, London. You guys have always been real with who you are, what you present, and what you're about. People like Talcott and others who act like they stand for something but really don't, I have issues with. And that's all I got to say. And I think that's why people are waking up, because the more we get closer to actual real shit going down, the less they're going to get their donations and views. Like, that's really all these motherfuckers care about, in my opinion. Donation and views and clout. And I'm not going to mention a lot of names, but I respect you, London, and I respect Z more than half these fucktards on the line.
All right, Snafu, much love. Appreciate your voice this morning. Mr. Talcott on the scene. He says scummiest with all the others to consider. Good morning, Jack, if that is the real Jack. Let me just make sure it's the real Jack before I start talking to a bot. Jack, I don't know if you heard, London Man and I were discussing some of your current interactions with different content creators. We seem, I don't know, I'll speak for myself, Jack, a little bit puzzling to me, some of the alliances that you've maintained, that you continue to maintain and promote. Yeah, blessings to you, Jack. And I'm trying to approach this situation, Mr. Talcott, in a fair-minded manner. Let me just make sure it's Jack before I'm just talking to a bot. I'm trying to approach it fair-mindedly. I don't want to assume your motives. I'll try not to make any assumptions. With that being said, I do think that, well, London Man, let me ask you, do you think Jack is alienating other content creators with his alliances with certain people? Your thoughts? And should he care, London? Should he give a fuck?
Whether he cares or not, that's for a toss-up. But he definitely is alienating himself. But whether he cares or not, it's up to him. But he definitely is alienating himself, because there's sometimes I want to go over there and have a little chat with him. Even my man Tony Taylor likes what Jack brings to the table. And like yourself, there's a few people that like Jack's overall message, right? We like his overall message, and we like him as a real person, right? I ain't never had no problems with Jack. I like the way how he always comes across. He comes correct, Z, and that's all I've been asking people, to come correct with me. So when I tune in over there and I'm ready to, hit the link sometimes, like the other day, I went to go and hit his link, but it took me to like Pool Stream. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Well,
Right, so-
you and I noticed the same thing. It appears that there was a thumbnail and a link in Jack's channel that did redirect to the Enslavia network, which I thought was interesting. And again, Jack, I mean, I don't want to assume your motives, but I could only speak for myself. Seems like London Man speaking for himself. Is that it's creating a situation. Like London, I have Jack backstage right now. But
Nice.
Mr. Talcott, part of me wants to not entertain it, because I'm like, okay, well, if Jack's going to entertain these other interactions with so many, well, why am I going to then enter the fray? See, so London Man, talk to me. I mean, do we entertain Mr. Talcott this morning? He's a compelling, interesting individual, hard to turn away. But that being said, I mean, should we support this?
You can't turn away one of God's children. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leave it up to my audience. Put a 1 in the chat. He wants to offer explanations. I'm going to leave it to the audience, Jack. 1, to see Jack. 2, to kind of let Jack maybe continue on in his morning. What do you say, audience? Split a bit on this one. Let's give people a chance to lend their voice to the convo.
I think they want to see him. I think they want them Talcott. Bring out the Talcott. Talcott.
I mean, he's here this morning. He's awake. Let's think about it. It's very early for Jack. It means he just rolled out of bed, popped his computer on. God,
That's even better.
some of
even
y'all are
better.
just always online. All right. The audience says that there's a few twos that came in, but Jack, welcome to the stream.
There he is. There he is. Round of applause, my man. Yes, sir. You're muted, bro. You're muted.
Thank you very much. I was just gonna offer an out, no feelings either way. I did set the alarm though. I wanted to catch the Z show and find out what was going on. I do love your show, brother. I love your energy. And while it presented the contradiction of why is Jack with that guy and blah blah blah, all that shit, I was actually speaking in defense for you yesterday, although admittedly maybe not for your intentions. I am a man of peace. I believe that there is peace to be found even in these communities. And Snafu, you're an ignorant motherfucker running your mouth around talking about me the way that you do, fool. Sorry. This is an interesting game we're playing, guys. And Z, I agree with much of what you're saying. Well,
let's hold on. Let me put it like this, Jack. It's like, okay, so we have London Man up here, and I don't want to speak for him, but I just want to present the situation, and then he can take the floor if he chooses. Is that London Man has expressed an interest to collaborate with you, Jack. He feels as though it would be valuable on his end. Now, whether or not you perceive the same value is, of course, that's your discretion. But he appears to have at least expressed the desire to co-create and collaborate with you in some way. Conversely, he's also stated that some of the associations that you have may indeed be preventing him from pursuing that. Now, here's the thing, Jack. The choice is yours because, okay, obviously some of these associations may be more heavy hitters, so to speak, more subscribers, more viewers. But let's really look at this thing from a try to be objective as possible. What viewers are we talking about, really? So as I hold anywhere from, my current 76 viewers to my 100 and change viewers that I'll peek out on each morning, and somebody else might hold that maybe 135 viewers steadily to maybe peek out at 150 viewers here and there. What are we really talking about? All of our channels in these communities, we're in our infancy, so to speak. I mean, what's the reality, Jack? None of us have our eyes on, 500 or 600 views a stream or 1,000 views a stream. I think a lot of us want to, right? A lot of us want to come on here. We want our voices to be heard. We wouldn't be doing it otherwise. Now, if maybe the motivations are financial, maybe the motivations are egoic. Maybe the motivations are a million fucking things that we can conjecture, but we have to understand that no matter what, the vast majority of us want our voices to be heard. They want us to be expressed. So the reality is saying, okay, well, maybe there's the biggest fish in this small pond, in this sandbox, but it's very short-sighted. So I want to leave the floor open as I've closed with this. Okay. We see alliances with maybe certain fish, other overfish, but I'm wondering, Jack, if your particular alliance that may be benefiting you in the short term is in some way sacrificing your ability long term to form relationships with multiple but similar other communities. Go ahead, floor's open.
Brother, I'm well aware of that. I don't like it either. I see, well, let me jump to the answer. The reason I still associate with people who may be causing me damage is, frankly, I don't see a lot of options. I am doing all of this all on my own, and I am trying to find my way. The only reason I am on YouTube is as I have said, and I have heard many others say, I am on here to build community for the purposes of taking actions in real life and trying to fix some of these things that we're just complaining about. I want to work with people. I want to work with people who want things to change. People say they want things to change, but guys, this egoic nonsense, this bullshit, this stuff has been a truly bizarre experience online. I know I'm not the only one who's feeling that. What the future is going to bring, though, hey, I am looking to gain viewers. I know for a fact, guys, you get the right message, the right content, you start delivering the right thing, dude, revenue streams on here, they're possible, they're quick, it can happen. I still have hopes of saving this house. So, guys, I appreciate, hey Z, thank you for allowing me to offer explanations, but I'm in this for the real world, for the seriousness, and I'm knocking on doors. I'm trying to get out of the small fish and grow, honestly. And that sounds, well, you guys can take it for whatever it is.
London, floor's yours.
Did Jonah try to get out of the fish, or was he comfortable knowing where the fish was heading? Right, and I'm not sure whether you're aware, right? But yesterday I was trying. I threw a comment out there in Benton's channel when he was live, when Z jumped up there, and one of my comments was, Paul, Z, Jack Talcott, and London needs to have a sit down, right? No cameras, no one involved, you know, just a little sit down, whether the people that I just named want to take part in it. But that's how my heart is feeling, you know. Maybe we should all have a sit down and see what comes of it. If nothing comes of it, at least we can say, you know, we tried to have a sit down and at least we tried, right? But it seems like even if we did, you know, bring this to the forefront, I think there would still be some people out there bitter and they don't want to see it happening, because like I said, people take this thing too serious, in my opinion. Like, even you got Tommy down there, he would be the first one to throw a wedge in that, you know, and I'm pretty sure there's more people out there that feel that way. They don't want to see great people coming together, because Z's great, you're great, Paul's been great, right? So to some degree, I think I'm great. I bring something different to the table. So I can see there would be a lot of pushback if that was to happen. But I would say at least we could give it a try, just to say we gave it a try.
London, you said my wish. I believe that disagreements and conflicts can be resolved through communication. For whatever reason, the only communication I get with people for the most part is online. So it's been challenging, especially with people who view their time online as creating content. And so, I don't know. AZ, I want to be respectful, brother. From the first time we met, you had like this little feeling within you about me, and you're a gentleman again. You want me to step out?
What was the feeling that I had about you, Jack? What do you mean? What's the reference?
First time we met, you said there was a feeling within yourself that there was something about me you just couldn't. It didn't feel right, and I get that. I do that to people, but
well, it's not. I wouldn't characterize it like that, Jack. It's just, you know, I'm in a particular. I have particular understandings about this world that we live in. I accept certain things about this world that are atypical, to say the least. So there's not many people that kind of resonate where I do. But the reality is, Jack, is we have more commonalities than differences. And I'm choosing to focus on those things moving forward. And that's with everybody. If somebody can approach me with a level of, let's say, courtesy, right? And we can be cordial. If my interactions with people can be cordial, I'm okay with those. I look at it like this, Jack. Let's look at politics. If it ever was like a real thing, and look where politics is now, where you have people from different sides of the aisle that can't even talk to each other. But I remember a time, Jack, where politics was different, where say a Republican and Democrat, after the Senate floor closed or Congress, they could go to dinner together. Maybe they'd go and, they'd go drink a scotch and they'd just talk about real things where people's ideologies were not so divisive. I don't see a world that evidences that anymore. I see deep-rooted differences that interfere with people's relationships, people's ability to work together. It seems to be division is the call of the day. I'm choosing to move past that. With that being said, I approach all my interactions with a degree of discernment, right? So that's sort of where I am, Jack. I'm not going to resonate with everybody, all right? So if I can just focus on the things that connect us, the things that maybe we share, the commonalities that we share, I prefer to move forward in that direction. So I always leave room for, collaborations. I leave room for, those type of things always. But I got Snafu in the back. Snafu had some things to say, Jack. You responded quite emphatically, which I enjoyed. And I'm sure he's going to have an emphatic response. He's like a caged wild animal in the back. So let's unleash him. Snafu, try to keep it above the belt, good sir, please.
I'm going to keep it real below the belt, and I'm going to be very calm, Jack. I'm just going to prove a fact. Jack, when is the last time you picked up the phone or got off your ass to try and stop wars?
Maybe he tries to do it every day when he comes on Snafu, he presents a broadcast.
He thinks his YouTube channel is how he's going to stop wars, which is delusional.
Snafu, you're a dumbass for thinking that. For thinking that I think that
did you get off your ass or pick up the phone to stop a war? I'm being very nice here, Jack. I'm not yelling and screaming.
Right. You're not listening. You're just defending.
I don't need to listen. You always backstage us when it's not your way. We're on Z Show now. I'm asking you, when did you pick up the phone or get off your ass to stop a war of any sense, or even try and do anything in the community of sorts, except just run your channel and run your mouth and act like you're doing something? Just curious, like in a real world situation, Jack.
Do you want an answer? I've tried answering. So here, since you finally shut the fuck up, let me try and speak. So, Snafu.
What were you saying, Jack?
Snafu, your accusations, your narrative, first of all, the
truth,
question
of you not getting up your ass and picking up the phone or doing anything. Again, tell him.
Come on, don't make me shove you,
You could simply say, I went and called the UN today. I did this today. You haven't done.
Snafu, you have to let people talk. You have to do the give and take. A little interruption, I understand, is natural. Just can't fucking. It's just not good content, dude. People don't want to hear that. Go ahead, Jack, please.
Let me address this, please, because there's no. What we're dealing with this Snafu character, the Tommy character, Paul character, these are characters that these men, supposed men, have fucking formed throughout their lives.
Love, Jack. I still love you, man. Keep going.
You are looping in your egoic nonsense. It is a sickness. You can calm your mind. You can have a dialogue with another human being, Snafu, without your attacks and defenses. You just got to chill the fuck out. And you know what, Snafu, you can kiss my ass for your allegations that I'm not doing anything. Because if you think one man is going to end wars, you're a fucking idiot. I'm not a fool. I'm on here encouraging others. Let's create a we that is powerful enough to end fucking wars. But hey, Snafu, sit back on your ass and complain about people who are speaking, who are doing things. So, this is
This might be a bit much for you so early in the morning.
It
have
is.
You even had your coffee, Jack?
It's stale from yesterday. So no, and I'm not a morning person. Z, thank you, brother.
Thank you, Jack. Look, can we ask what your because we know here on Z Show what I put butter and honey in my coffee. That seems to be my preferred mix. I don't do the dairy. Sometimes I'll do cream, but mostly I do a butter and honey. What's the Jack Talcott? How does Jack take his coffee? The whole world wants to know.
Black.
You just drink it black, huh?
Black, and it doesn't even have to be hot. It's just, I took a break from coffee and I started up again Sunday, but hey, I'm going to get rid of the caffeine again soon. Z, thank you, brother. And London, respect to you. For those who do care, I've had people who have tried to join the panel and then the chaos gets out of control, and I'm still trying to figure out how to manage this stuff. Z, I do love the way you operate. And London, much respect. Thank you, guys. Peace.
All right, Jack. Much love.
Respect.
Thanks for coming to see us this morning. I got a few people in the back. Illumitami is literally spurging out. I'm going to give you a few moments, Illumitami, but let's just see where it goes. It's going to be a mistake.
Do you see what he's doing, chat? Like yesterday, like many days, Z, I came up here and went to bat for your show. And
Okay, we had a whole day, Illumitami day yesterday. I have other people here. You realize I'm doing a show, Tommy. This is a show.
It's a day of me. I was backing up your newscast. I was backing up your segment.
Oh, you did me a favor. You don't see that what an incredible honor it is for me to leave somebody up for the news.
No,
that's a position
stand up
of
no,
honor.
It's just like I went to bat for you whenever Paul was coming for you.
I don't need Illumitami to come to bat for me. I don't need Illumitami in my corner because I know you'll turn on me.
Hypocrite.
You'll turn on me in a
I'm not turning on anybody.
You think I'm building alliances like this?
When you sit up here talking that shit about me, London, what did I tell you? What does it take to get in my good graces to align with me?
I have no idea, Tommy. Tell us.
Oh, yeah, you don't remember?
No, tell us.
Well, I will, and it's going to show, hopefully, some shame that you have, because I only do private correspondence at the person's request. I like to stay transparent, public with everything. And in both public and in behind-the-scenes talk, I've told you, anybody that follows the able words, has integrity, acts stand up, they're going to naturally align with me. And you all looking pretty oppositional. So I've finally figured out what my channel is going to be. I am going to be the one that turns this chat foundation into a better chat where these hosts and these channels will be challenged to rise to the occasion of what the chat foundation deserves.
What the fuck are you saying? What is
all
he
these
saying?
channels are getting a little weak.
Hold on, Tommy. You're just... See, he just has an idea. He has an idea in his head, and then he just dives in and just decides to elaborate on some like minuscule concept that nobody knows what the fuck. Rocky, are you there, Rocky, good sir?
Yeah, I'm here.
Rock, you literally have no idea who any of these fucking people are, do you?
Not really.
Yeah. What's on your mind this morning?
I'm trying to stop the war.
Oh, you're like my friends this morning? You're trying to stop wars? Have you figured out how to do that yet? Let us know.
I'm using that meme right there.
It says when people who refer to you as infidel and goyim are at war with each other. Gotcha. So you're saying one side of this war is going to call you an infidel, the other side, and that would be, like the Hamas, the Palestinian, and then the other side is going to call you goyim, which is basically useless eater, right? But they're fighting each other. Good point.
Right. Right. So why the fuck should the United States get involved in the fucking war? Neither side likes us ass motherfuckers. You know what I'm sorry I used that word.
Right. It's like, why the fuck should we care is what you're saying. Like, what's the big deal? Let them fight, right?
Yeah, neither one of them like Americans. Infidels, they want to kill us. The Goyim, they consider us dirt bags or whatever.
Right. But now here we are.
Yeah.
Rocky, it seems like we're moving into the stage where they're setting it up for the U.S. versus Iran. That seems to be the next move. At least that's what I see. Of course, it seems as though the goal is even a larger outbreak of conflict and war. But it seems like the U.S.-Iran thing has been a long time coming, and they may be ready to pull the trigger on that. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It could be the beginning of the Ezekiel 38 war.
Yeah. What's that reference? Ezekiel 38.
The Gog and Magog war, right before it happens during the tribulation. So this could be the setup for it.
The Gog and Magog. Some people view the whole Russia-Ukraine thing as an iteration of the Gog and Magog. Do you have that same understanding?
Well, one of the principalities in the war is called Rush, and that the Prince of Rush, which sounds like Russia, Prince of Rush. So
I see.
I think it, it's Bible prophecy being fulfilled is, and you can't stop shit. You know what I mean? And if we could just stay out of it, that would be great.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Rock, because I often say this, is that I'm less concerned about stopping war because I don't think that's a realistic goal. I'm more concerned about choosing what's right. Using your discernment as a sovereign man or woman to make a decision on the right course of action and proceeding accordingly. Because I think this idea of trying to stop a natural phenomenon that we see in nature, where do we not see war and conflict? It's in every layer of nature. You look at different species, conflict and war just seem to be part of this whole system. So how are we going to stop conflict? How do you stop that? Rock, when a lion is over his pride, right? And the lion gets a little bit older. What happens, Rock? The young challengers come in. And what do? They'll often team up against the alpha lion and they'll take him down. They will go to war with him and they may kill him.
Well,
you see it in the animal kingdom constantly. You see it everywhere. This conflict is just part of the nature here. I don't see I don't see a world where there's no conflict. To me, that doesn't happen here. Go ahead, floor is yours.
Well, I think war is a necessity for defending a nation, but to these proxy wars where we're fighting for other people, like, oh, let's go fight for Israel. Like, we don't need to be over there. We should close our borders. And if anybody wants to attack us, well, fine, we defend ourselves. But why are we going all over the world starting wars? They're proxy, and why are we doing it for the Zionists going in and, it's all, Well, it's all.
Hey Rocky, sorry to cut you. Hey Z, I think we need Mr. Talcott up here again because this is his territory. This would be a good conversation if Mr. Talcott could add to this. I believe so.
It would be, but I think Jack's gonna go
Okay.
get himself together. It appears as it's quite early where he is, London Man. Like it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock now, and we're gonna let Jack get on with his morning because it seems as though he kind of set his alarm to make a special appearance here. It was good seeing him. It was good seeing both you guys. I'm gonna get to the news. Any closing thoughts for the audience today? Yeah, I see you, Pizer. I see you. Hold on.
Hey, much love. Thanks for having me up, Z, and we'll catch up soon. Peace
All
out.
right, London. It was good talking to you. Rocky, it was good you got to make an appearance today. You got to lend your voice regarding this Gog and Magog conflict. I was looking up the biblical reference you made in Ezekiel about the prophecy against Gog in Ezekiel 38. Maybe you guys want to check it out. I'll read a little bit of it here. Ezekiel 38:1, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, a son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against them, and say, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Interesting prophecy there, Mr. Rock E. Closing thoughts, good sir?
Oh, no, yeah. You could share my screen. Play that video.
What is that? I saw you had something back there. What's the nature of it, Rock?
It's Victoria's Secret.
With the trannies? Are you going to give me the whole tranny thing with the Victoria's Secret shit?
It's a 12-minute diagnosis of Victoria's Secret. What is their secret?
And how they're trannies.
Well, they tell you right in it what their secret is.
I'm not going to play it, Rock, because I haven't checked it out, and I don't know if there's copyrighted shit in there, but we're going to take your word for it. Oh, darn. So you really believe that, Rock? You really believe that, like when you say about the tranny thing? Because I don't believe it, Rock. I'm not like I don't accept that as reality. Doesn't mean I'm right. Convince me, Rock. What's your evidence?
That's on FakeOTube. It's not copyrighted. It's FakeOTube. It's not on YouTube. It's FakeOTube. So it's not a copyright thing. You don't have to worry about it. And this guy has been revealing this for the last 5 years. He's banned on YouTube. He can only get on FakeOTube because he's not allowed on any other platform. So
all right,
anyway,
I'll check it out. I might play it another time. I need to review it before I play it. But why don't you tell me the evidence? What evidence do you have that these are basically elite bloodline trans men posing as Victoria's Secret models? I want to hear it.
They're all Illuminati. They're in the whatever you call it, the Illuminati or the secret shit, and they put their fingers over their lips and they got a little secret that you don't know about. It's in all the movies all the way back to the 40s. I mean, every time I watch a fucking movie, all I see is trannies now. Once you see it, you'll never not see it. Just like the flat earth. It's another secret. And they got men lusting after men on TV and women taking advice from men. It's just, it's total, it's totally fucked up. And they even got a open trans universe competition. And you look at them, that's the picture that's on the screen now. Those are open trannies, and they look just as good as Victoria's Secret trannies. Now women are trying to look like these tall, slender, skinny trannies. They can't be, they'll never be that way. And so they got these women trying to look like these trannies. And if you live in a small town or you probably never seen a transvestite walking down the street, but if you saw these actors in person, you would probably think they were like came out of one of those I don't know, the cabaret, tranny cabarets or whatever they call them. It's just everywhere. Our politicians, you think Michelle Obama is the first tranny president lady? No, she's not.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point, Rock. I've seen some of these old first ladies, like that Eleanor Roosevelt and so many, maybe even Abraham Lincoln's fucking wife. I don't, dude. I would agree with you that some of these first ladies are definitely suspect.
Exactly. How come the most powerful man in the world has the ugliest bitches for wives? It's because they're all. This world is so fucked. I mean, we've been lied to about everything. Our leaders are fucking. We don't even know if they're human. I don't know what the fuck they are, but they've been doing it. It's like they raised their kids, giving them estrogen or testosterone, whichever they want to do. And if you're a child growing up, and say you're a boy and you get estrogen your whole life growing up, and then they got surgery, and you put a pair of tits and some makeup on a dude, and all the dudes look at are the tits. They don't look at, and in movies, half of it's makeups, and we know that they're wearing masks. They wear, CIA masks, these really sophisticated masks they got nowadays. They got the Biden. It looks like he's wearing a mask sometimes. And who the fuck is this guy? This ain't the Biden that I remember growing up. It doesn't look anything like him. And then they got actors that play different roles. They pay, like the hips of these Victoria's Secret. They can't have a baby. Look at it. Their hips are too small. You can't push a baby through that.
Gotcha. All right, Rock. I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for the info. You never disappoint, Rock. I'm gonna move on. I gotta end the fucking show sometime. Much love, dude. It's good talking to you. It's Rocky, everybody. Rocky doesn't mince words. He always brings the real deal. Rocky's my kind of guy. For those of you who don't know Rocky, he's a Marine, everybody. He's been boots on the ground in the Middle East. When he talks about the war, he talks about it from experience. He's been in Afghanistan. He's been in Iraq. All right. The guy doesn't fuck around. Now, wait. Cadence, pay attention. We're having another correspondence from Cadence's apparent sex dungeon. We checked in earlier this morning. The lovely Cadence, as many of you know, she has a habit of trapping men, luring them into her secluded cabin in Michigan. And luckily, one of the captives has made their way onto Z Show this morning. And they're here to implore us. Likely they're going to probably, they're probably wondering when help's going to get there. Let me see. Let's check back in to the Cadence sex dungeon. Hopefully the guy's still okay. Mr. Captive, sex slave, are you still there, good sir?
Are you guys there?
Yes, we're here. Be careful. Don't let her hear you. You'll be in trouble.
She came in and she braided my hair, and then she brushed it with the braids in, and then she made me put on my clothes inside out.
That's another level of torture. So not only does she make you drink her vaginal discharge, and not only does she keep you in a locked closet with no light, but now she's like torturing you with weird hair grooming practices. Very strange.
She says she's gonna perm it later. She says she's gonna perm my hair and curl it. God, I wish it would stop. Z. Oh my God. Dear.
Get out of here! I can't do it anymore. Cadence, come on, Cadence. We've had this conversation. You need to treat your captives with a little bit more humanity. Do you understand? I've seen Gitmo prisoners with better treatment than that. That's called cruel and unusual punishment. They have international laws set up against that stuff, Cadence. You can't just have your way with all these men. You just can't. There's rules to this. International law. Must. Oh my God. Poor Jeff. Hey, Jeff. Better you than me. Better you than me. That's what happens when a thirsty young lady from Michigan decides that she's going to go into heat. It's all right, Cadence. Good thing. Good thing your pal Z's looking out for you, Cadence. Oh my God. Everybody pray for the captive Jeff there. He's going to need it. All right, everybody. It's time for news. Wait, I didn't hit my mark on the music. I need a computer with like faster processing. My laptop's not cutting it. Let's try again. News! In today's top story, and guys, I've decided I'm going to read the news in my old-timey news broadcaster voice. See how that goes. In today's top story from CNN, I went through hell, released Hamas hostage, describes being kidnapped and taken into tunnel system. An Israeli hostage released by Hamas has described her ordeal after she was kidnapped by gunmen and taken into a tunnel system in Gaza during the Palestinian militant group's deadly assault in Israel on October 7th, saying, I went through hell. Miss Lishifts, a frail 85-year-old grandmother who was one of two hostages released by Hamas on Monday, recounting the moment that militants snatched her from her home in Kibbutz or Nizor and drove her away on a motorbike towards Gaza, a painful act during which she said she was beaten and sustained bruises. Interesting. So they're even capturing old ladies. I thought it was just about capturing the young chicks. Hamas, why are you taking these old Jewish broads? There's plenty of young, hot little Jewish tail that you can capture. Have you guys seen these Jewish models? I don't know. Our friend Rocky probably thinks they're all fucking trannies, but guys, some of the hottest models you ever seen are these fucking Israeli models. They're smoking hot. There's a lot of hot Israelis. Come on, Hamas, Palestinians, do better. What are you capturing like an 85-year-old broad for? That doesn't help. Take a lesson from our friend Cadence. She's not capturing old people. She gets young, young, hot, fertile, sexually, able young men. She knows what she's doing. If Cadence knows what to do with her hostages, you're fucking Hamas. You should know how to handle hostages. And you should know better. How dare you? Capturing a frail 85-year-old grandmother. God. People don't hostage like they used to back in the day. What happened to the good old days of kidnapping? Gotta teach you guys everything? Give me a break. In other news from CNN, what we know about the off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot accused of trying to shut off a plane's engines mid-flight. An off-duty pilot who was riding in the cockpit of an Alaska Airlines flight en route from Washington State to San Francisco on Sunday is facing dozens of attempted murder charges after he tried to shut down the plane's engines mid-flight, authorities say. The suspect, identified as Alaska Airlines pilot Joseph Emerson, 44, attempted to cut off fuel to the engines, but the quick action of the aircraft's captain and first officer kept the engines from failing completely. The airline said, adding Emerson was subdued by the flight crew. Interesting. I guess what they do is if you're a pilot, like they said he was off duty, you can like kind of catch rides in the cockpit. That must be like a professional courtesy that pilots do for each other, right? So I'm not sure, but I think I've heard that before. So for whatever reason, apparently, this 44-year-old off-duty pilot, allegedly, this Joseph D. Emerson, as he was in the cockpit, decided that he was going to like do some weird thing and shut the fucking engines down mid-flight. Imagine that, breaking out in the cockpit. Now you're the captain and the co-captain, and this guy like loses his mind for whatever reasons. Who knows? Maybe there's information I don't know. Very strange story. I don't even know what to add to that, other than that, people are losing their mind. 44-year-old Jeff Emerson, he's about my age. I'm 45. Who knows what he's going through? Hey guys, it's not easy being a middle-aged man in this current society. We appear to have the empowerment of the woman to the disempowerment of the man. Who knows what this guy's going through? He's obviously going through something to lead him to do such an insane act like this. People used to lose their mind back in the day, but not like this. Whatever's going on with people is beyond the pale. People are just jacked up and fucked up beyond all comprehension. So I don't want to like project onto this Mr. Emerson and try to, understand why he would do such a crazy thing, but just put it this way. It's not looking good for you out there, guys. Stop trying to play into their system. Stop trying to go along to get along. There's nothing really for you anymore in this culture and economy, this corporate economy that's been created for everyone. You can do things outside of the system at least as much as possible. You can still prosper while not completely selling your soul out to a system that's going to make you crazy and try to do fucked up weird things like this dude. In other news, from NBC, U.S. moves to claim $300 million super yacht associated with the Russian Gatsby. The Justice Department officially moved Monday to claim a 348-foot super yacht it says belonged to a sanctioned billionaire oligarch known as the Russian Gatsby. In a civil forfeiture claim filed in federal court in New York, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams' office said that the $300 million vessel, the Amadia, is beneficially owned by Suleiman Karimov, and that the super yacht was improved and maintained in violation of applicable sanctions against Karimov and those acting on his behalf. Interesting. The filing contends the yacht, which has a helipad, an infinity pool, a jacuzzi, and multiple bars, should be forfeited to the U.S. government. The U.S. Treasury Department sanctioned Karimov, who is worth an estimated $14 billion, and has ties to the Russian government over alleged money laundering in 2018. Oh, interesting. So it appears like the U.S. government has declared war in some way against this Russian oligarch, and somehow feels as though they have the authority and the jurisdiction to seize his $300 million vessel. And I just ask this question: by what authority? How? This is a strange story to me. How are you going to do it? You're going to use the military? Guys, there's no international authority. I mean, we have the United Nations, preceded before that by the League of Nations. But what power do they really have? Are they backed by the sword? Or is it just, authority in name only? Is the guy's yacht here? How do they propose to seize this yacht? Who says they have the right to do so? These are the questions I have. Just saying. I'd like to see this yacht. Multiple bars, infinity pool, jacuzzi. Do you imagine? From ABC News, 7 dead, 25 injured in superfog multi-car pileup on Louisiana highway. A superfog in Louisiana has caused a multi-car pileup on Interstate 55 near New Orleans, Louisiana, after severely lowering visibility, according to police. The crash involved at least 158 vehicles, occurred on Monday morning due to heavy fog conditions, according to the Louisiana State Police. Interesting about this fog. I say this oftentimes. People drive recklessly. People have just accepted reckless driving as the norm. Everybody speeds. Everybody tailgates. Okay, there was heavy fog. Why are you driving in a manner in which you cannot brake in a reasonable amount of time? People are just conditioned to be in a hypnotic state. People's functioning has come to a point where people are not thinking. Our brain waves are being entrained to a frequency of compliance, a frequency of basically rote conditioning. Okay, sure there was a lot of fog, but how could there be so much that 158 vehicles just keep smashing into one another over and over and over again? We assume things. We treat this world in a frivolous, careless fashion. People operate and comport themselves in a way that is hazardous. It just has become normal, so people just accept it. Anyway, that'll do it for today's edition of News. And yes, guys and dolls, that brings us to the end of another Z show. It's been quite a journey this morning. Again, another journey. I wake up and I do the show, and I'm like, I wonder how the show's going to go, where it's going to go. You never know. You never know where it's going to go. I have my certain canned segments that I do. I'm going to do the news at the end. The rest is just what it is. We had a lot of visitors, guests here this morning. We talked to a gentleman who was broadcasting live from the lovely Cadence's sex dungeon located in Michigan. We talked to Mr. Jack Talcott, who made a special appearance this morning on Z Show, set his alarm and everything. We talked to London Man, Snafu Snaps, Aluma Tommy, Rocky. Mr. Benton paid us a visit, which was quite a surprise. We almost talked to Mr. Moose, but he exited the backstage before I could bring him up. He seemingly did not like the way he was being categorized by yours truly. I thought we had an appearance from the lovely Heidi, but there's been claims made throughout the metaverse that that was indeed a sock account. And then Heidi is displaying a degree of pride at this point. Too prideful to show herself here. Fair enough, Heidi. All's fair in love and war. And nobody knows that more than the lovely Cadence. So she realizes, as I was saying, there's really no like international laws that govern how entities function. And that Cadence is flouting and ignoring all laws of human decency. You know, any ideas that we have that prevent people from being tortured and unjustly imprisoned. Apparently, Cadence has no care for those type of things. She just wants to continue her practice of capturing unsuspecting male suitors and torturing them in her sex dungeon. Just saying. But anyway, much love, everybody. And if the fates are willing, we'll be back right here tomorrow. Same Z time. Same Z place. Much love, everybody. Take care.